Welcome back to Absolutely the Best Podcast, a work in progress. I'm Zach, and with me today is my good friend George.
Hello.
This is Series 2, Episode 5. This is our MCU adjacent series, so there will be at least one tie-in to that franchise. Today we're talking about Meet Joe Black from November 2nd, 1998. We don't have a ranking system for Series 2, but after we discuss the movie, we will give it a rating for the film and whether or not it's absolutely one of the best movies. As a reminder, we assume the listener has seen the movie before, and of course, there will be spoilers. Do you want to do movie memories first, since you had seen it before?
Yeah, I was trying to remember when I'd even watched this. And the only thing I can think of was I probably took a trip to Blockbuster Video
That sounds about
and
right.
picked it up. Because, 1998, that was quite a while ago. Brad Pitt and Claire Forlani and Anthony Hopkins are definitely much younger in this movie.
Yes.
So I don't really have any movie memories for this per se, outside of I think I was wandering around in Blockbuster on like a Friday or a Thursday and was just looking for something for the weekend and picked it up. And it's been a while since I'd seen it and rewatched it. So I'm a little surprised by how I feel now versus how I felt then.
All right.
But we can get into that.
Okay.
During
this might be good. All right.
Yeah. I've matured just a little bit more.
Okay. So I had never seen it before. I do like Brad Pitt, and I kind of love Claire Forlani, and Anthony Hopkins is also great. Yeah, exactly. But I wasn't feeling good about a 3-hour romantic fantasy movie, which is, I guess, the genres it is classified under.
Longer than I remember it being.
I knew it was 3 hours. Like, I don't know how you can look up the runtime.
No, I don't.
So, but you said that you liked it, and then it came up for some reason when we had Mike Albertin and Michael Colby on the Thunderbolts episode, and Mike was like, "Oh, it's a good movie." So I was like, "All right, two guys I know said they like it." And also, and to plug the Blank Check podcast again, who again they don't need it, but while I was prepping the notes for this, I was listening to their episode on Look Who's Talking To, and for some reason they were talking about Meet Joe Black, because I think it was in the theaters the same time that Look Who's Talking To was out.
Steve Guttenberg?
No, that's Allie, what's her name from Cheers? Christy Alley and
John Travolta.
Thank you. I think that Meet Joe Black was in the theaters the same time as Look Who's Talking To, and there's basically two hosts and essentially a third co-host on that show. He's like a producer or whatever, but he chimes in all the time. The three of them love the movie. Actually, I think their guest also loved it. So I'm like, all right, maybe this is okay. They
love Look Who's Talking To or Meet Joe Black?
Meet Joe Black. Okay. They did not love Look Who's Talking To. I don't. Where did you rewatch this?
Here? On YouTube.
For this.
YouTube
on
Premium.
YouTube. Oh, okay. I've been thinking about paying for that, but it's kind
pretty
of a lot,
great,
man.
Well, it's great. Well, it's great because I'm on a family plan with my brother,
right?
And he pays for it.
Okay,
so
I gotcha.
It's a very great price for me,
yeah,
but it's also I don't really want to watch YouTube without premium anymore.
Right? Yeah. Well, let's see. I want to do it to get rid of all the commercials. I want to do it to get rid of the commercials for my kids, really. But
yeah, there's a lot of good movies on the movies because it comes with a bunch of a whole section of free movies and TV shows.
I think it's like $26 a month for the family, but I don't know. I've been thinking about it, but I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. Anyway, so I started rewatching it on Prime Video, and immediately was like, "This has commercials," so it's gonna be really long. And I found that this movie drags. It is a slow, extremely slowly paced movie.
Would you call it a slow burn, or is it more like a slow simmer?
It's a slow trickle. I don't know. So after a little bit, I went through the effort of installing probably spyware a Chrome extension so I could speed up movies on Prime Video, so I could watch it sped up. I watched about half of it at 1.8x speed, and it still dragged.
And it was still 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, and so then I just kind of forgot about it for about 2 weeks. I had a big head start on this one, and then when I went to go back and watch it, it was no longer included with Amazon Prime, and I was gonna have to pay to rent it. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. So I found on archive.org, the Internet Archive, somebody put up the VHS tape rips. So
Oh, nice.
there was two files, one for each, because it's a long movie. You can't fit it on one VHS tape. And it turned out I had already gotten through the first tape. So I watched the second tape at 1.5x speed because it was that or 2x, and 2x was too fast. And I think the VHS tape experience made it a little bit better. I don't know. Or maybe the second half of the movie was a little bit better. I'm not sure. And usually I like subtitles because I'm old and I can't hear.
Yeah.
And it helps me to, helps if I can just read. And of course, there's no subtitles, and the audio quality was atrocious,
Oh man.
but I didn't really care.
Yeah. Anime has taught me to just have subtitles on all the time.
Oh yeah, I mean, once we had kids, I think, like when we had a baby,
Yeah.
and we would try to watch TV at night, and we did not want to wake the baby, so it was like the volume was at like 3, and you turn the subtitles on, and that was how we had to watch TV for a long time. Now we just don't watch TV. So, as you could probably tell, I did not enjoy this movie. And so, before we get into it, I would like to start with a preemptive apology to you and to anybody listening who likes this movie genuinely, because I think it's hot garbage, and I'm going to mercilessly mock it throughout this episode. I do not have a lot of positive to say. Spoiler alert. So, with that, we can get into the main show, and I'm going to hand it over to you.
Sweet.
Since this is your fault.
This is my fault. I was curious to see how you were going to handle a completely different type of movie with like some pretty high caliber actors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting. Anyway, let's get into it with I guess this movie was directed by Martin Brest, a guy who I feel like had some pretty big notches on his belt.
Yeah.
Besides Meet Joe Black, he had Beverly Hills Cop, which I
Yes.
was a huge fan of. I loved
That's a banger.
that movie.
I
Yeah.
love that too. Yeah. I wonder if that's MCU adjacent by any means. I would love to cover that one again. It's been forever since I've seen it.
I'm trying to think if like Taggart or the other guy,
Oh yeah. Judge Reinhold.
Judge Reinhold, or well, I mean even that guy
Has
from
Bronson Pinchot been in the MCU?
maybe? No, I don't think so.
I don't
Damn,
know.
no,
Well,
it's not.
I'll look into it later. There might be some like a key grip or something in common.
And I loved Beverly Hills Cop so much that I watched the one on Netflix, and I was a little sad that wasn't as good, but it was still.
Oh, the fourth one?
Yeah, the nostalgia
I
factor
didn't
for it
watch
was
it.
pretty great. He did Midnight Run, which I also have not heard of, but I looked at that
really?
on IMDb, and yeah, I mean, I'd heard of it, but I hadn't like watched it.
Okay.
And when I looked at it
yeah.
on IMDb, it looked like a pretty good movie. It was right up my alley.
Oh, okay. Well, like one of my best friends, it was like his favorite movie, and I hadn't seen it, and he made me watch it in like 2000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I don't really like the guy who stars in it besides Robert De Niro. I forget his name right now.
De Niro?
No, the other guy who did like the Beethoven movies and stuff. Charles Grodin. I like him better now, but at the time I didn't really care for him.
Yeah.
But it is a highly rated movie, and so I certainly wouldn't hold it against anyone who loved that movie. I didn't dislike it, but it wasn't really my thing at the time. I should watch it again.
And Scent of a Woman, which I heard of, but I've never actually watched. I've watched pieces of it.
I've only ever seen like the clips of what's
Al
his name?
Pacino.
Al Pacino, like, she got a great ass. Although is that from Heat? That might have been from Heat.
That's
because every character that he's in, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I think that's the movie where was it Chris O'Donnell and him? Yeah. There's a scene where they're like driving, where he's driving and Al Pacino's driving. I think he's blind.
Yes.
Or something in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see that every once in a while as an Instagram clip or something. But I never watched it, and I can't.
I'm
I
not
can't
gonna.
tell if it's supposed to be good or not.
I
Yeah.
think it's not. I think it's not. Actually, that's another one that was covered on the Blank Check podcast. They do a whole series. They do a series on. I gotta stop plugging this show for them. They don't need it. But their whole thing is they'll do all of the director's movies, because one of them, at least one of
Uh,
them, was like their ticket for a blank check, quote unquote, to do whatever movie they wanted, right?
right.
And so they covered Martin Brest and they covered all
Oh,
these
that's a cool
movies, and they
idea.
they did Son of a Woman, and they do not make it sound like it's great.
Mm. Well, what's worse is, I guess, what ended up being Martin Brest's last movie, which was Jiggly.
Oh yeah,
Jiggly? Giggly?
yikes.
Jiggly.
Yeah,
Uh,
whatever.
yeah, that turned out to be, I think it's either if that movie put his career either on pause or it just killed his career altogether. Because he hasn't done anything since, it looks like. That movie had a lot of drama with it, with the whole J-Lo and
Yeah,
Ben Affleck thing. So I didn't dig too much into it, but I know it was in the papers and stuff a lot
yeah,
back in the 2000s, 2003, I think it was.
sounds right.
Writers wise, I have never heard of any of these guys. It was written by Ron Osborne, who looks like he was also a writer on Mork and Mindy, which I'd heard
Hmm.
of. I grew up
Yeah,
on Silver
yeah.
Spoons, Night
Yep.
Court, and
Oh,
Moonlighting. All
nice,
of that stuff I've heard
nice.
of. I think his most recent work, I'm not sure if I forgot if it was a producer or a writer on it, but was The West Wing, which I'd also definitely
Hmm.
heard about.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, which I also kind of dislike because it paints a really great administration in the White House that like cares about people and knows what it's doing. Anyway, that's another podcast.
Side note: I started to rewatch Captain America: Brave New World,
Right.
and like we were already in this second Trump administration when we first watched it, but
Yeah.
it's like it's, it's even harder. I mean, I'm just like, wow, this is just making me. I wish that we had Ross for president. Basically, that
and
would that would be that would
he's
have
not
been.
that great.
No, he's not. It would be so much better. But I mean, like, I was watching
yeah,
it as we were apparently dropping bombs on Iran to maybe start World War III. So,
yeah,
anyways,
yeah.
sorry.
I mean, the Ross administration has uh, the benefit of having the Avengers and a bunch of
Yes,
superheroes
yes.
in the world. Uh, Unfortunately for us. Also, writers on this was a guy named Jeff Reno, who also was a writer on the Mork and Mindy show, Silver Spoons, Night Court, and Moonlighting. He'd also done some work on a cartoon called Duckman,
Oh
which
yeah,
I totally remember as
with
a
with
kid.
George.
Yeah. But I guess Ron Osborne was also working there, and I totally remember enjoying that as a kid, Duckman. But the Beauty and the Beast remake is also a credit
Hmm.
for this guy, the one with Kristen Kruk, um, another childhood crush of
I
mine.
don't. I don't know. I
You
don't know
didn't
who that
watch
guy is.
Smallville? Oh, oh, the guy. Yeah. It's like, I mean, I also don't. The third guy on the credits list in IMDb is a guy named Kevin Wade, who I think was the newcomer in this group because I hadn't heard of anything he'd worked on outside of Meet Joe Black, except for I think Made in Manhattan.
Hmm. Another J Lo.
And then Blue Bloods. I think he's started working Blue Bloods, which I think just
Also
ended.
J Lo, right?
Blue Bloods?
Yeah, wasn't she on that? Oh,
Oh,
am I
I don't
confusing
know.
that for?
Blue Bloods, I thought was the Tom Selleck series about
Yeah. Okay.
cops.
I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
thinking of a movie she was in.
yeah.
Um.
So that
Did
gets us through the
you?
writers.
Did you? Yeah. Sorry, I keep derailing
Sorry.
us. Did you see that it's that this is a remake?
So I was going to ask you about that because you said I know in your notes you said it was a remake, but you want to go into that because I did not know that this was a
Sure. So
remake.
so there's a 1934 play or movie. I'm confused. I'm getting confused now. I think it was a movie. A 1934 movie called Death Takes a Holiday, which
Yeah,
I think sets the expectation better with that title rather than Meet Joe Black, which is like, what the hell is this movie about?
right.
And that movie was based on a 1923 book called La Morte in Vacanza, which is Italian for Death Takes a Vacation. So I don't know. I had no idea that it was a remake until I was looking at the Wikipedia.
Was the original funny or
I have no idea.
okay? I
I
was like
wasn't gonna
curious
watch
if
it.
it was in
Yeah,
there.
I don't know. I don't know if I could take a movie from 1934. Probably pretty slow.
All right, and we could get into the cast now, I guess.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt. I don't know that we need to really go too deep into him. He plays the titular Joe Black in this movie. I don't think we ever get his actual name as a human being at all.
No, and the so it was interesting because I kind of assumed his real name wasn't Joe Black, right? So
Yeah,
I guess there's no reason to know that, but it just sounds like a made up name. And for reasons that we'll get into later, I looked into these. I was looking at the script, and it just says young man. It never has a
yeah,
name. So it's like when he's alive, he's young man. When he's death, he's Joe Black.
yeah. Uh, my first movie watching Brad Pitt was Seven, and that's still
Oh
one of
yeah,
my favorite movies of like ever all
yeah, that's a
time.
great movie. Not my first Brad Pitt movie, but that's a good one.
Was yours Legends of the Fall?
No, I don't think I've ever seen that. Probably California, California with a K, where he's like
I don't think I've
kind of
seen that one actually.
he's like the main bad guy. It's not great. It's got
Yeah.
David Duchovny in it, and Juliette Lewis. I would watch it again just to see how it is. I remember liking it, but I don't think it's well reviewed, so I'm not gonna stand up for it without having seen it again recently. But he's basically like the main antagonist, and he's pretty much a inbred hillbilly. And then True Romance, which he's barely in, but that's my favorite. My favorite role of his.
Really?
He's Floyd. He's just the guy who lays on the couch and smokes pot all day, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, he's so
I
good
don't
in
think I've
that.
ever either of those Californication or not. I mean, I saw Californication. That's a totally different
Right. Also
show,
David Duchovny.
but also David Covey. Yeah. Uh,
But True Romance, we will do one day because that
yeah.
is MCU adjacent. Because if for no other reason, there's probably others, but if for no other reason, Samuel L. Jackson is in it for like 2 minutes,
Oh, was
and
he?
it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So we will be covering that someday. I don't know when. It's not going to be the next one for this, but
I just realized
I do love
Coming
that
to
movie.
America is MCU adjacent because Samuel L. Jackson
All
made
right.
his debut there.
Yeah, I didn't know that was his debut. That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think Brad Pitt, Seven, Interview with a Vampire was another good one I really liked, and 12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys is
Uh,
great. I love that.
yeah, yeah. Then we have Anthony Hopkins as William Parrish, the uber successful patriarch who is the head of the Parrish Communications Company. I think if you picture the exact opposite of Rupert Murdoch, that's probably William Parrish.
Nice.
It's like a very responsible head of a major communications company, and he just wants to bring the news to the world completely unvarnished, and that's William Parrish. Uh, I think I was thinking about Anthony Hopkins in his role here, and I kind of was just like, well, I don't really. Whenever I picture somebody that just walks in a room and just feels regal, it's like him and Denzel are like two of the
Hmm.
handful of actors I think that can pull that off for me.
I mean, Denzel, they both definitely have presence. I don't know if I'd describe Denzel as regal, but I wouldn't
Maybe
argue with
presence is a
saying,
better word
yeah,
for it.
presence. Yeah. I did see your note about regal before, and I immediately thought of Colin Firth, Charles Dance, and Bill Nighy, but that's more like traditional meaning of regal, I think.
Bill Nye makes me think of like ancient vampire ever
Yeah.
since the
Yeah.
what was that series, The
Underworld.
Underworld.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, it's still regal.
Yeah.
It's still royalty, right? Claire Forlani plays Susan Parrish, the younger daughter of William Parrish and love interest of Joe Black and Brad Pitt. Uh, uh, she is also the favorite daughter of William Parrish in this movie.
So wait, you threw in and Brad Pitt because in real life they dated for a bit, right?
Oh, did they? Oh
Yeah.
no,
Oh, I thought.
I meant because Brad Pitt, the young man
Oh,
in the
the young man.
cafe,
Yeah.
never had a name. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they dated right around the time that this was filmed, maybe like right after or during. I'm not sure. You wouldn't be able to tell because the chemistry sucks, but
but I don't know if that's a result of chemistry or the way that uh, Brad Pitt plays Joe Black.
yeah, I got some comments.
I'm sure you do because I remember. So rewatching this, I was definitely like, "What's with all the looking around?"
Yeah.
like like he's kissing her in the foyer, and then her dad is walking down the stairs and he doesn't look behind him, but he knows he already sees he's there.
Right.
But then like when in person he's talking to somebody and he's looking around and not making eye contact whatsoever.
He
Like I can't tell if it's good because he's like supposed to be playing like a little like a very new to the world kind of like new to the world and new to having a body, so he's trying to focus on those senses and doesn't know where to focus. I don't know.
it's all very inconsistent and it bothers the hell out of me.
Yeah, yeah,
But with Claire Forlani, I was gonna say that she should be in more movies, but she's been in a bunch. I just like it's nothing that I
yeah,
want to watch. So
yeah, yeah. Well, I think she deserves it to be in more big movie. I guess more
yeah, that's
bigger
fair.
movies.
Popular movies,
Yeah,
movies
more
that I want to watch.
yeah. But I mean, if she's been doing has her work been primarily in like independent type movies? Is that
I
why?
didn't even get that far. I was like, oh, she's done a movie like every year or two until like I don't know 2020, and I just looked at the titles. I was like, I've never heard of these movies,
Mm.
so I don't know.
Yeah, she was all over the place around this time because I think it was Mystery Men. Wasn't she in Mystery Men too?
Yeah, she's like
Yeah,
a waitress, I think,
yeah, around the same time.
and she was in Mallrats. That was probably a little bit earlier.
Jake Weber is Drew, the super douchey right hand man of William Parrish, and I guess at the beginning of this movie, he was the boyfriend of Susan. I know him as Michael, the cool protagonist in the only movie of Zack Snyder's that I've really liked, Dawn of the Dead.
Yes, I did not know that was him. I was like, where have I seen him before? He looks really familiar. And when I
Yeah.
finally was done watching the movie and I was trying to take notes on who was who, I saw that. I was like, oh yeah, because he's so likable in the Dawn of the Dead remake, and he's such a piece of shit here.
I didn't realize it till I was like, why does this guy look so familiar? And then I was like, it's that dude. And
Yeah,
I looked up the Dawn of the Dead cast, and there he was. But yeah, he does a really good job being douchey here. I also don't know why
hmm
he's not in more things, or is it more popular? I like him.
we already got plenty of white actors.
True. Uh, Marcia Gay Harden
hmm
is Allison Parrish, the oldest daughter of William Parrish. Uh, just seems like a pretty typical rich lady who
Yeah,
has
I
more money
described
than she can to blow.
exactly. I described her as super A type, mostly
Yeah.
about planning her dad's birthday party.
Yep. But you know that that's not like that all of that eccentricity, that's been built in as his as I guess the daughter always trying to prove her worth to her
Yeah,
like superstar father.
yeah, I could see that.
And then last but not least, Jeffrey Tambor plays her lovable husband Quince, who I really liked in this movie.
Yes.
But I had no idea. I mean, I think I really like Jeffrey Tambor in everything that he plays.
Yeah.
Uh, I just didn't realize he had some of that stuff going on outside of his profession.
Yeah. So I had a few comments on that. But first of all, I forget. Have you seen Arrested Development? You have not, right?
I've seen a couple episodes. I
Okay.
really need to just buckle down and just watch the whole thing.
We should do it as MCU adjacent.
We could each
uh,
episode. That
well,
might be
yeah,
worth it.
we could do like
Yeah.
one, like the first season's only like 4 episodes. So we could do
Oh
it.
yeah.
You know, that one season could be an episode or something. And we don't have to go into like extreme detail like we do on a movie.
Yeah.
Something we could do. Actually,
He's
want
the
to talk
dad
more.
in that show, right?
Yeah. So, well, the dad and the uncle.
Oh.
He plays 2 characters, and they're both great. But so yeah, so he's had uh, some accusations of sexual misconduct,
Mm.
and it seems like he's owned up to them and apologized. I'm not saying that makes it okay. I'm just saying the facts.
Yeah.
But separating art from artist, he is great. I love him in this. He was in the Larry Sanders Show. I don't know if you ever watched that. He was Hank Kingsley, and he's George and Oscar on Arrested Development.
Mhm.
But in this, he looks exactly like Dr. Phil to me.
He does.
And he has the Hank Kingsley energy where, you know, he just so badly wants to help and be involved.
Yeah.
And it never works out for him.
He's like a really big puppy in this movie, but he's
Yes,
also
that's
a
a great way
really
to put
great
it.
husband to Allison.
Mostly great.
Yeah.
He's pretty supportive. I will say that.
Yeah. I think that's what I meant was
Yes.
he's definitely very supportive of her. Like he kind of like he jumps into the void when he sees her feeling let down by her dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. He totally wants to lift her up, and I appreciate that.
yeah, yeah. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's start this 3 hour review. So this movie opens up with Death saying hello, and actually not even saying hello, just saying yes. A voice
Yes.
saying yes
A
to,
sexy yes.
yeah. Anthony Hopkins, William Parrish wakes up and he just hears that voice. And when you first hear his voice saying yes to him and it's not coming from him in the background, it's something else. And I don't know. Right off the bat, I figured it's probably Death because he looked pretty confused. And who else goes around talking in your
Yeah.
voice to you?
Like, was it? It sounded like Anthony Hopkins' voice, though. At
It was
first,
his voice. Yeah,
okay. All right.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense because death could be any voice it wanted, right?
Yeah.
So
But like, why would it be your mom or your dad or
why would it be Brad Pitt's voice?
right? Exactly. He goes back to bed concerned, as you should be when your voice talks back to you and it is not coming from your head.
Yeah.
So then we run into, I guess, the actual morning in full swing. We run into Allison in the middle of planning what looks to be Bill's big birthday bash. And you can tell that
65th.
she is neurotic. Yes, his 65th birthday bash. I think neurotic is the word for it, or just
Yeah.
straight
Yeah.
obsessed with all these details from fireworks to flowers.
Yeah.
Bill comes in and he really could just care less.
As I would for my 65th.
Yeah, that's kind of me in general for birthday parties. I don't think I've ever had a real birthday party myself, mostly because I'm not really the kind of guy that likes to be in the middle of stuff.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, not since I was like 10.
Right. So Bill walks in. I don't know. I like Bill right off the bat, mostly because he has that succinct mannerism of somebody that thinks about the bigger picture and probably lives there a little bit too much, but
Yeah.
could care less about like trivial stuff and doesn't like stuff like that. Susan walks in, and you can tell that he is much better. He has a much better relationship with her than he does with Allison.
Because she's not nagging him about birthday details.
No, well, I mean, there's that, and she says something like, "Oh, Drew told me," and he kind of just homes in on that with her.
Right.
And he's about to tell her something when the helicopter lands, and then you can kind of tell right off the bat. And I don't know if I noticed this in my initial watchings, but you can tell off the bat that her relationship and Drew's just ain't that great to begin with because he jumps
It's
off
pretty
the plane.
stale.
Yeah, it's pretty stale. Like he jumps out of the plane, or not plane, the helicopter, gives her a kiss, and then he just kind of pats her on the shoulders and then just walks by. Just
That's not what you
straight.
do with your wife.
No, like just straight to her dad,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's who's her
And makes out
boss.
with Anthony Hopkins.
I mean, it seems like it seems like he, at least in the first half of this movie, it seems like he would if he could, just because her dad is his meal ticket to this big deal.
Yeah, you know what? It didn't really occur to me till you just said that this could be a relationship of convenience for him, like a way to kind of solidify himself in the company because he's like a
Yeah.
board member or something, right?
He's a board member, and he's the guy that's, I guess, was tasked with leading parish communications into the next century. I
Okay.
guess modernizing this media company. But like, man, but it's Claire Forlani. How would you just like
Yeah,
how much work
exactly.
would you
Like
have to put into that
if
convenience?
exactly, like if that's exactly what I was gonna say. If you're doing this like out of convenience, you could do a lot worse. You could do
Yeah.
a lot worse, man. Uh, so something was bugging me here. There's a lady holding documents for Bill to sign,
Yeah.
and she looks exactly like Edie Falco to me, Carmela Soprano.
Uh,
Like or
was it?
worse, Jackie. Uh, I could not find who it was.
Oh.
I couldn't like. There's nobody in the cast. She's not listed. Edie Falco is not listed in the cast, and I could swear that Bill says like thanks Delia or something. So I thought her name was Delia. Couldn't find who played Delia. I couldn't find any. I spent way too much time trying to find it, and I was like, all right, I should just stop. So if anybody knows,
I think you have to actually have a line for them to credit you in IMDb or something, right?
that's a good point. I don't think she said anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
good
yeah,
point.
I did not catch that. So they head to the helicopter to commute to the office. And I imagine that's a pretty quick commute.
Yeah.
And Quince joins them, And he's just like this big puppy that jumps into the jumps into the car, going like, "Hey, I'm totally ready for this big meeting." And Allison reminds them that they've got this loose ends dinner to talk about the party later that night. So they jump into the helicopter, and Bill continues with this whole "Do you love Drew?" Thing that he was going to ask Susan, and she just goes, Do you mean like how you loved mom?" And they have this whole conversation back and forth about just what he wants for her, and Drew and Quince are in the
He
back.
just wants her to get dick down proper. That's all.
At the end of this movie, the I think I have a section where I forget. I'll know when I get to it. Well, when I get to it in my notes, but I mean, he just wants her to have a really. Wants her to find that passion. To your point,
Right. Right.
something that has that amount of passion, and she wants her to be excited. But when she talks about Drew, he compares them their relationship to titmice, and
Oh yeah.
that's not
I
that's kind
forgot
of
about that.
it's kind of gross. But I mean, it drives his point home, and she's like, "Oh, okay." Uh, but yeah, he wants her to just be deliriously happy, and he has a bunch of good quotes, corny quotes, but still pretty good about love being passion, obsession, and finding somebody that you can't live without. And he even admits that it's corny. I think this is what I think because I saw this when I was much younger. Uh, I really liked a lot of the things that Anthony Hopkins was saying because they're not wrong.
No, I agree. And everything that he had to say was fine.
Yeah. But I think it came to me where I think one of the things I've learned growing up is if you overly romanticize relationships and love, that's also a good way to not find it because you're always
Yes.
like, oh, I can fight. This isn't it. This doesn't make my heart race
Right.
that way. This
Right.
isn't
Right. Right.
lightning striking.
Yeah.
So I found it kind of funny that I think it's a privilege that somebody that looks like Claire Forlani has to just be like, oh, just keep passing until you find that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Us regular Joes. Uh,
Speak for yourself. No.
hey, I gotta admit, I didn't do too bad.
Yeah.
I'm punching above my weight
Yeah.
class, and
I've been told the same by some
I
people before
I, I,
that I
I
married up. I'm like,
yeah.
thank you.
Oh, you've been told that. I tell my wife
Yes.
all the time that whenever I picture the two of us walking together down the street, I imagine people saying that guy must be hella funny. Because yeah, no, I love my wife, and she's gorgeous. Anyway, back to this movie. Uh, so they land, and Bill hears Death's voice again, and you can tell that the relationship between Bill and Susan are really close, because when he just kind of explains it away as like, "Oh no, I'm just talking to myself," and she's like, "You've never talked to yourself in all
Mhm.
the years
Yeah.
I've known you." I mean, it sucks to be Allison when it's so obvious how much closer he is to Susan than he is to like her.
Yeah.
So I thought it was weird because I do talk to myself all the time. So I guess that's not going to be too different for my daughter. This is followed by one of my favorite scenes when Susan walks into the coffee shop and there's Brad Pitt, the young guy. I really like this just because the banter between the two of them is really great. He starts off on the phone talking to his sister, Honey,
Mhm.
and it sounds like he's talking to a girlfriend or
Right. Right.
something.
Right.
And so that's how their conversation kicks off. And she's like, "Oh, like I thought you were talking to your honey," and
He might have been. He could have been lying.
he could have been lying. But if he was, he explained it away really well. And I guess we're never going to see because I don't think that there's ever going to be a Meet Joe Black 2.
I will not be watching it if there
So that's
is.
a that's a 2.5 hour follow up
Yeah.
sequel.
Okay. Well, if they trim a half an hour off of it, maybe. Um. So I actually this is where we part ways because
Yeah, because it's too
I
corny.
too creepy. I did not care for his energy, man.
Really?
He was giving off a very predatory vibe, and I was just like, ugh. He was coming on way too strong. Also, his hair is too blonde, and his suit is ill-fitting. I don't know. Maybe like were they trying to make him kind of schlubby or something? I don't know. That was weird.
Well, I think that's why he was trying to pull off that regular Joe vibe. Just like not because when he's deaf, he's like all of his suits are very fitting. Actually, where'd he get
Yeah,
all his
exactly.
suits now that I'm thinking about it?
Yeah. Yep.
Like everything just fits him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so you thought he was predatory, and you thought that the banter between them was a little was because she seemed to enjoy it.
It, yeah, she did. I don't know. It's. I mean, obviously, within the movie universe, it was consensual,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was bordering on harassment. I thought. He was
Really?
making me uncomfortable. He was making me uncomfortable,
I wish
man.
we had a female. I wish we had a woman here to kind
Yeah,
of chime in on this perspective, because I've found, God, I don't want to throw this out there. I found that like just in the few times I've actually been up front and spoken to a complete stranger and tried to shoot my shot, that they appreciated the directness but respectfulness. And I didn't think that he is on watching rewatching this scene. I didn't get that feeling that he was being disrespectful at all. I thought he was coming on strong. I don't disagree with you there, but he was also just laying it on thick because I think he was just
yeah.
shooting his shot.
He was. It was just kind of like this braggadocious energy. I don't know. I didn't care for it, but that's fine. Anyways, moving on.
No, no worries. Um, so it turns out Susan is an internal medicine doctor, and so he's saying, "Hey, you're a doctor. Everyone, I figured you were because you're a doctor. Everyone else around this area is a doctor." And he's trying to find a place to live. And then you move back to Bill, and Bill is having a heart attack. And what can only be Death's voice is saying yes. I feel like you have to be pretty stupid to not realize that this is Death, and that was Death earlier in the movie, in the beginning of the movie, saying
Right.
yes to him. Bill asked Death to keep talking to him, and just from that little bit mentioned in the meeting, I feel like it's because he wants to try to negotiate his what he knows is his coming demise. Because I think Anthony Hopkins' character is just crazy smart, and he's
Hmm.
pieced it together. And then back at the cafe, Brad Pitt and Susan are wrapping up, and they really like each other. They haven't even traded names yet.
It's gross
Are they?
how much they like each other.
I do think that I you know I do think that it's probably a little bit far fetched for somebody to for two people to like each other this much upon just meeting each other in the cafe and not even having an actual date.
Right.
So,
But it's a movie.
but it's also a movie, yes.
But it's still, I was still like barf.
Yeah. I take it you haven't watched City of Angels yet.
I think I have. I think I did watch it.
Yeah.
Uh, that's got the Alanis Morissette song in it, right?
That and the Goo Goo Dolls song from
Okay. I feel like there's a Chris Cornell song in it too, but
oh,
it might be a
maybe.
different movie.
It had a pretty
Anyways,
good
okay.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
That one's even more cheesy, I think. So much so that I laughed when Meg Ryan got hit by a bus because she was riding her bike.
I definitely have seen it. I have seen it. I was about to say, doesn't it have Meg Ryan in it? But yeah, well, as
Yes.
soon as you said that, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's not a good movie.
I was the only person in the theater that totally started laughing when she got hit by a bus. I think I annoyed some people, but when she got hit by a bus, I was over it.
That's funny.
Anyway, so yeah, they haven't even traded names yet, and they're both like pretty much admitted, I don't want you to be my doctor because I like you too much and
Yeah, that
all
was
that.
that was one of my notes. Is he says, "I don't want you to be my doctor and examine me," and then I wrote, "He definitely wants her to check his prostate."
Right. Yes.
I know that look.
Right, right. Um, and she actually admits the same that because she likes him a lot, and they do that thing that I don't know that I've ever done where you just keep looking back to see if the other person is looking.
They turn around a stupid number of times.
Yeah, that's what I was
Like
gonna say. Like
this,
I've done it maybe once or
yeah,
twice.
this does not need to be a 3 hour movie. This drags. They each turn around, of course, not at the same time, right? Because otherwise they would see, and
Yeah,
then movie would be over because they would, let's exchange numbers, whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, it goes on way too long.
But also, I mean, I guess in those days, did they have cell phones? I don't remember if I saw a cell phone.
No, but you have pen and paper. You could write
Right.
down a number, or if you really like somebody and they go, "Hey, my phone number is," well, you can remember 10 digits for an hour. Just say it over and over in your head. You'll be fine.
I mean, did they? No, they didn't have emails back then. I mean, they did have emails, but
98. There was, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, there was 98. There were cell phones, but they weren't
yeah.
popular. I would say I got mine in like 2000,
She definitely
2001
had a
maybe.
pager. I
That's
saw
true.
that.
Yeah, as a
Yeah,
doctor, good point.
but they don't have emails unless I mean I think around that time only Department of Defense folks really had emails.
Or
I think
college students.
the college students have it back then too.
I did. I
Oh,
had
yeah.
a email in like
Oh, right. 1998.
96,
Yeah,
95.
I want to say 95. I definitely had one for sure from school. Anyway, they keep looking back, and I don't know who looks away when you're crossing an intersection, especially when you're crossing an intersection against the
Are
light.
you so in love?
But like, I don't know, your survival instinct
Yeah,
should probably
yeah.
kick in and tell you not
Should
to
have.
look away, you know, because he already almost got run over. And then I guess the part I was confused about was he almost got run over that one time, and no, I guess the other car coming in the other direction just wasn't paying attention and still ran him over because there was no car before that.
Right.
So I think I don't know the happenstance of him getting run over was pretty crazy, but it was kind of amusing to me how hard he got hit that he bounced from one car and
Yes.
then bounced into another car and then bounced off of that car.
It it looked pretty good. I remembered it
Yeah,
looking back because I'd seen that clip before. That had totally been spoiled for me.
yeah.
I remembered it looking totally fake, but I don't know. I thought it looked pretty good. And this is when I was still watching it on Prime Video, so it wasn't like the VHS transfer was covering up for bad whatever.
Yep. So Bill's home after the office heart attack that he's clearly like just shaken up by this voice that's talking to him. Allison is trying to discuss the details of the parties per usual, and he's not paying attention.
During the dinner, Drew says something about sitting between two people at a play or something, and he says it was better than a second all.
Yeah, what's that?
Okay. So I was like, I've heard of a second all only because of Fight Club before. Um, a second all is a barbiturate that they used to prescribe to you to help you sleep, I guess. So Solid Burn by Drew there. Stuffy rich boy Solid Burn.
Right. I was gonna say that, yeah, in this, like Drew's, you're already, if you didn't already, you were starting to get an inkling that Drew's kind of a douchey dude from the way that he's just shit talking the guests that Allison's inviting.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And then Allison is trying to get her dad's attention because she wants to talk about, I guess, silver charm bracelets for women and platinum keychains for the guys with WP engraved on them. I gotta admit, I was like, "What's the W?" It took me a second because I was like, "What does
It
the
took me
WP stand for?"
I totally missed that. And then when you just said it, I was like, why WP? And I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I was keep thinking of Bill Parrish, and
Right,
when
right.
she said WP, I was like, "White people."
Well, I
But
could have one of those.
yeah, yeah, yes. Uh, but he's not. But yeah, Bill's not paying attention, and you can tell she's just hurt. And but like Quince is such a loving husband. He jumps in and he's like, "Oh, I want to take a look at that. I love I love keychains." Death is whispering into Bill's ear that, hey, he should check the front door. And Bill's feeling weird, but he does ask one of his maids, hey, check the front door. And sure enough, there's somebody there, and he has his maid escort him to the library. Which I gotta say, man, I don't, this is one hell of a MTV
Don't
Cribs moment. How many
don't tell me you don't have a library.
That's dude, I think in my Pinterest somewhere is a room full of, like, books like this. I don't know how many of those books he's actually read, and it sounds like later in the movie, Susan makes reference to a bunch of, like, really rare books that he has, but,
Mm.
I mean, I guess it kinda just speaks to, I guess, Bill Parrish himself being super well read and knowledgeable and stuff. But I love that library. That library was pretty sick. Um Anyway, so,
I ain't much for fancy book learning, so
yeah. You've never wanted to have a rolling ladder, because you had so many books?
I want it for my wife's books
Yeah.
because we don't have room for them. She has since switched to a Kindle, and that helps. But
Yes. I mean, I suppose, yeah, Kindles have made rooms like that unnecessary. So, Death lays it all out to Bill, and this whole time, Death is speaking through some weird kaleidoscope-looking window,
yeah, I
in the
thought that was
middle.
an interesting choice. It was
Yeah.
like that wavy privacy glass or something.
Yeah. But he, like, lays it all out. Bill's been chosen to show him around for a bit. And then when Death steps out of the shadows, it's none other than Brad Pitt from the cafe earlier. From here on, Death's voice is Brad Pitt's voice. and it's no longer Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. So obviously it's a movie,
Yeah, yeah.
but hell of a coincidence that it's Brad Pitt that he chose, right?
Yeah, there's a
To
lot of coincidences like
yeah.
that in this movie.
And the other thought I had here was like, all Bill has to do is keep being interesting and keep doing interesting shit,
Yeah.
and he gets to live. You know, like how hard is that?
Yeah, I know part of me was like, I wonder if you could just hire a bunch of hookers to entertain Death and just get him so
Well,
because clearly he's never at the end of this movie he's never done it.
I'm gonna probably repeat myself later on,
Yeah,
but there's when he does start hooking up with Susan,
yeah,
Joe Black says, and Bill Parrish gets mad. I'm like, buddy, I'm sorry, you got to pimp your daughter out because as long as he's interested in Susan,
yeah,
you get to stay alive.
yeah, yeah. That's the realistic, the realistic take on this movie, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I guess that doesn't happen in the end, but
yeah. By the way,
seems like it would have.
Death's Boner is a great band name.
That's got to be a band name.
It has to be. So Bill introduces Death to the rest of the family, and everybody's actually, especially Allison and Quince, they're super warm. Drew's definitely like, "Who the hell is this?"
Right?
Uh,
Did hold on a
uh,
second. I liked it when he's like Joe Black,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like he just made it up. Have you ever seen the Family
This is
Guy
Joe.
when there's a Family Guy when I forget what he does, but he's like he does something wrong. Peter does something wrong, and this lady's like, "What's your name?" And he's like looking around. It's like this cafeteria, and somebody's eating peas. He's like, P." And then somebody else is crying. He's like, "Tear." And then a griffin flies by. He's like, "Griffin, Peter Griffin." So that's what this reminded me of. When it was like Joe Black. It was as made up as that.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to, I'll have to check that out. So yeah, everybody's pretty welcoming. Quince is Quince. I guess
Yes.
he's a head of his rotisserie league or something, which is kind of it. Just Quince just has some of the best moments in this movie. But Susan comes in, and she's late to the party, and she's super surprised to see Joe, who doesn't recognize her at all. And she is very quickly confused and frustrated, presumably because of how well she just really liked her encounter with Brad Pitt.
She probably thought he was negging her,
It's possible.
which
I wonder
wouldn't have surprised me.
if that's why she reacted to him as much as she did this movie.
Yep.
But yeah, he doesn't remember at all because now he's actually Joe Black and Brad Pitt is no longer there. I'm just gonna keep calling the young man Brad Pitt because I
That's fine. Whatever. This is where, again, started to have problems with this movie.
Mhm.
He acts like he's an alien. Like he's got no idea what any of these things are, like how to eat, what food is. It's like, it's not like he was born today. He's
Yeah,
death. Like he's been around. He's helped people die for millennia, presumably, right?
right.
So I don't know, man. Like I was, and on top of that, and again, I'm probably gonna repeat myself later, but like anytime he's with Bill, totally normal business. Like, look, here's how it is.
Right,
You're gonna die when I get bored of what you're doing.
right.
And anytime he's around anybody else, he is like a toddler. He's got no idea what's going on, can't communicate properly, and I just don't get it. I
Yeah,
don't understand why.
you're not wrong in that the inconsistency is really weird. I didn't quite get that either. I mean, I think I tried to explain it in my own head as like it's like he's watched everybody, but he's never actually had to do and participate in things, and so he's
Okay.
finally
Yeah.
having to, oh, when somebody passes me bread, I need to pass it to them. But he misses details like, oh well, Drew already has a roll of bread on his plate, so he probably doesn't need it. Need the bread bowl. So
Okay. That's fair.
that's how I've chosen to kind of gloss over that fact.
Okay.
Anyway, so turns out Joe is staying at Bill's till his work is over, and his work is over whenever he decides it's over. So everybody leaves for dinner, and one of my favorite scenes here is the peanut butter one because it's kind of
Yes.
ridiculous.
This is what I'm talking about. He's like, I don't even know how to explain it.
I don't know. I liked it. He's wandering around because Death doesn't sleep, and everybody else in the house, where most everybody in the house is asleep, and Bill's gone to sleep, and so he's wandering around the
I hadn't
house
thought
just
about
checking the
that.
place. Huh?
I hadn't thought about the fact that he wouldn't sleep.
Yeah, or at least he doesn't have to, which is weird. I don't know if earlier, because later in the movie he does tell Susan he's tired, but I don't know if it's because he's getting used to having a human body and he had a full day that time. But we'll get to that. So he's wandering the house and he comes across the employees area in the kitchen, and everybody, I guess, is having a late dinner or snack and just kind of winding down from the day. And he gets introduced to peanut butter and he's really liking it. I don't know. There was something about the way that he just attacked a spoon of peanut butter that I thought was really amusing.
I thought it was would have been an easy way for Bill to stick around a bit longer, just keep supplying Joe with a steady supply of peanut butter.
Yeah, he didn't even like it with. He didn't even want it with toast, which I don't know. I thought it would have been better with toast than just by itself.
I mean, I will eat a spoonful of peanut butter. Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that. But I don't don't act like it's I don't know.
the best thing ever.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. I'm just gonna be repeating myself. He acts like a child this whole time, except for when he's with Bill.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't really actually realize that it was whenever with Bill, he was with Bill that he doesn't ever act like a child. He's actually very cold and super direct
Right.
with Bill.
The other thing I have in my notes here is that even at 1.7x speed, the pauses in this movie are an
Are long.
eternity.
Yeah.
It's so long.
Yeah, that's definitely it's not slow motion, but it might it might as well be in some
They
parts.
linger on these shots for
Yeah.
and forever.
I wonder what it was like shooting these scenes, because just like pause just a little bit more.
Like, we got to do another take. You didn't wait long enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So Joe is walking through the mansion and peanut butter in hand, and he runs into Susan while she's doing an evening lap swimming or something in their indoor pool because they are rich and indoor pools is the way you say that you are rich.
Yes.
And she kind of just lays it out and says, "Hey, I thought you were just a regular old Joe." And he's like, "I am Joe." Uh, but she's flabbergasted because he acts completely different from the guy that she totally was wanted to cheat on Drew with later earlier in the day. But Joe asks if they can just be friends because he doesn't remember any of that.
Mhm.
He's very I don't know. Okay, so one of the things that bugged me about this scene was everybody kind of just drops things mid questioning, right? Like she's like, "Oh, you're totally different," blah blah blah, and then he says stuff like, "Well, I just want to be your friend," and she doesn't, and then she just stops her line of questioning.
Right. Yeah.
Like, well, aren't you still curious about why he doesn't seem to remember anything he said to you earlier, and why he just doesn't say or just acts like a completely different person?
I would chalk that up specifically here anyways. I would chalk that up to this script being written by men
That's actually a fair point.
and, like why should a woman keep questioning a man anyway?
You know, to your point, to that point, that maybe that's why the earlier cafe scene was so aggressive.
Yeah. Maybe.
'Cause I thought it was fine being direct, but it was a little on the overly aggressive side.
I still was getting a very cringe vibe from Joe Black here.
Well, because he kept looking everywhere, and then he was like, "Oh, what do I do with this spoon?"
Yeah.
After he like licked it, and he's like, "Oh, just
Just put it back in the drawer. It's clean now.
yeah, yeah." Anyway, uh, she gives him the "I've got plenty of friends" line, and part of me was like, "Is that her telling him that I don't want you as a friend? I want you as my sex toy?"
She's unfriend zoning him.
Yeah. It's like she does not want him in the friend zone. She actually was because she was so interested in him earlier. But then Joe says he has no friends. And then she does the whole she can see why thing. But I did like the part where he starts going into how lonely he sometimes gets because he gets busy doing what he does. He doesn't ever get into it, but it's clear that she empathizes with it because as a
Mhm.
doctor, she's gotten very wrapped up in work and stuff. So that sounded like a very lonely existence, and I can empathize with that. I get heads down for a long time, and I kind of lose myself in work. So let's get to bring death to work day the
Yeah.
next day. So it's morning time, and Bill comes to check in on Joe, and Joe basically warns Bill, "Hey, tell anybody who I am. This adventure ends because you're going to ruin my vacation." And Bill agrees. And on their way to work, Bill asks Joe, like, when you're hanging out with me, how are you doing everything else that you're supposed to be doing? Joe basically tells him, I'm multitasking at a scale you can't comprehend.
Okay, I must have skipped that because I had a note later on where I was just like,
Yeah.
what is like every 3 seconds I think somebody dies,
Yeah.
and so like, is there just nobody dying during this week long vacation he has? But I guess yeah,
Yeah.
multitasking.
That
Okay,
it's like
that's
in
fair.
this walk, this is where the whole like take something. I forget what the exact quote was. Take it to the depths of infinity, and even
Mm,
then, you're not going to be able to understand how
right,
much
right.
I'm multitasking. Because Bill uses that against him later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, he says that Joe Black says that he wants to see the world. Like, as death, has he not seen the world? Like, people die all over the place, right?
I think that that's to you know how like when people talk about vampires and then you have these vampires that cry about living
Yeah.
forever. It's different because there's no value in anything because there's no ending to it. I'm just like, fuck that, man. Living forever sounds awesome.
Oh no, I do not want that.
Okay,
I'm like,
it sounds awesome for like a couple decades maybe or a couple centuries.
yeah, I mean, like, that's how much you got to work forever, pay taxes forever.
Have you not
No,
seen
thank you.
Highlander? You're like independently
I
wealthy
have,
after like your first lifetime.
I have seen Highlander. I don't know. Maybe I'm not that good of a money planner.
I mean, I'm assuming it would suck to be a financially irresponsible immortal.
That would probably be me.
But anyway, speaking of Highlander, I think Henry Cavill is supposed to be putting one together.
Oh
That
yeah,
that sounds
yeah.
like it'll be interesting.
I saw something recently about that. I don't remember what it was though.
Yeah.
Somebody else interesting joined the cast, but I don't
Uh,
remember.
Anyway, Bill brings Joe to his board meeting, even despite how awkward it is, and Joe brings a lot of entertainment because Drew's inner jerk starts coming like on full display when he's like just frustrated with Joe being around and being distracting. I don't know. I thought Joe was pretty amusing because it's like I guess he's never actually sat in a rolling chair, office chair, and he enjoys the cookies he's snacking on.
Again, he's like a 5-year-old. Yeah,
Well, I mean, I guess when you're a discorporealized entity just floating,
yeah,
you don't
that's
really have a
fair.
chance to
That's fair.
sit in stuff.
Um,
Uh,
I thought it was weird though. Like Drew has a line about nothing is certain except for death and taxes,
mm,
and like, Why is Joe not familiar with that phrase? He's been around people again for millennia. Like he knows perfect English, right?
yeah.
So I don't know. I don't understand how he doesn't understand expressions like that.
I mean, I imagine he's kind of like a mortician, except minus all the actual work. So
Yeah,
he's only really exposed to like to your point, every 3 seconds somebody's dying. He's kind of just showing up and harvesting people.
yeah,
That's the extent of his work. Like he doesn't really. I want to believe that he doesn't really get involved in actually watching these people live their lives out, and he's just coming in at the tail end where it's like that whole meme. The 5 things people regret the most when
right,
they're
right, right.
on their deathbed. But yeah, Bill does let the board know that he's decided not to sell Parish Communications after all to this, I guess, Bill Bontague, or is it Bill Bontague? Somebody
Something like
Bontague
that. Yeah,
had like a big offer of wanting to, I guess, acquire Parish Communications. And then he gives off this pretty great speech, I thought, which is like somewhat prescient and relevant to the things happening today, where he talks about how he built Parish Communications because he wants to give the news to the world and he wants to give it unvarnished. And that Parish Communications had earned that responsibility. And this John Montague guy just wants to buy it. And he doesn't want to help that because once somebody like John Montague gets a hold of Parish Communications, he's going to buy another company. He's going to buy another company. And then soon enough, the world has to get its news through John Montague. And that only works if he'll be in a position where he can control it, and if he doesn't like what you have to say, he can fix that the world won't see it. Man, I guess in back in the day it was definitely possible, but then the internet happened like crazy since then. So Bill Parrish would be disappointed right now,
yeah,
I think. So yeah, Drew makes a comment about death and taxes right around
right,
now, and Joe's just it is funny that Joe perks up because of the death and taxes.
right.
And there's something later in the movie where Bill's like, "Stop repeating everything I say and asking it and turning it into a question." And I didn't realize he did that all through this movie until like that scene. But Drew is definitely starting to lose his temper, and it's amusing given that like he's basically talking shit to death.
Yeah.
So, so part of me is just like, oh, he's just poking the bear, just kind of waiting for like a sickle to come in out of nowhere. But anyway, Bill and Joe go to his office after that huge screed, and Bill tells him to get lost because he's sad. So Joe goes for a walk, and he ends up at the hospital, which is one of I think this is my favorite scene is when he shows up at the hospital.
This is the most memorable scene for me.
Yeah, I love that
Uh,
old lady in
the
this scene.
First of all, this is the dreariest hospital I have ever seen in my life. It's the most awful shade of green. I mean, it was probably accurate for New York City in 1998, but
Is it
yeah.
because you want the doctors and the nurses to kind of camouflage into the walls?
Pretty much that's what's going on there, but
Yeah. I did like the scene because of the interaction with the old lady. Like this Jamaican old lady is just so good. She like sees,
she
she
is, yes.
clearly sees him, right?
Yes, and she calls him Obeya, right?
Yeah.
Which is a bad spirit, but
But I feel like her acting the best in this movie
for sure,
as this old Jamaican lady.
100%.
She steals the entire movie for me.
Across acting across from a what I would describe as a very problematic accent that Brad
Oh,
Pitt is doing.
but I enjoyed the interaction between the two of them just because he's just like, "Hey, chill, I'm not here for you." And she's like, "Wait,
No,
why not? I'm in
you gotta
pain."
do it. You gotta do the line in the accent.
No, I'm not doing that.
I'm not
I'm
doing
gonna
it
mess
either.
that up so bad.
I don't know how he got work again after this. It is I could
Who,
not
Brad Pitt?
believe. Yeah, I could not believe how long it went on for. I'm definitely going to put in a clip in because
Yeah.
neither one of us is going to do that accent.
I don't dare.
But oh my god, I can't believe I never saw this before because this seems like a viral clip that would show
Yeah.
up now. Like, can you believe what Brad Pitt did in this movie?
Obia. Right. Obia evil and not evil, oh man. And what you is then? I from that next place. You waiting here to take us? Like you's the bus driver to there? No, man, I on holiday.
You know, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure every person who wrote this movie is a
Yeah.
white man,
Oh,
and
you're not wrong.
it's oh man, it was uncomfortable to watch.
This script was definitely written before diversity was ever a thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the old lady and her daughter are the only ethnic people in this movie.
Also, why did her daughter leave her with a white man doing this
That she
Jamaican
was
accent?
deathly afraid of,
Yes, I was
right?
like, do not leave your mother alone with him.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so this little old lady, she asks him, she realizes I mean, she clearly realizes who he is.
Mhm.
She's stuck with him because her daughter just abandoned her at death's doorstep, pretty much. And when she realizes that he's not there to take her, she's like, "Wait, why not? I'm like in hella pain.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I don't want to be here." He's like, "I know I was scared of you then, but like now that like you're not here to take me, like I'm in pain, man. Like do something about it." So he's like, "No, I can't do anything for you right now because I'm not here. I'm on vacation." You know.
I thought it was multitasking.
Yeah. Yes. But so I was kind of like, why couldn't he do anything for the pain? But maybe that's just not one of his powers.
I thought that he
Or
did do something for the. Well, first I thought that he killed
yeah,
her, like because she asked for it. But I thought that he did
yeah.
help her temporarily with the pain or something.
Oh,
I
maybe he
I
did. Yeah,
I did like in the scene that she did recognize him for what he was, and that she
yeah,
talked to him about like that. All that was actually pretty good. But with the
yeah.
accent, man, I was just like, oh my god, what am I watching?
It was the look on I think all three of her daughter's face
Yes,
and Susan's face was funny
yes, yes.
because here was Brad Pitt busting out with the Jamaican patois.
Do you think this accent work got him the part in Snatch?
I haven't seen Snatch. That's
What?
on my
Oh
list
man.
also
Okay.
as like a really. I was like, oh wait, that's the one where you can barely understand what he's saying
Yeah,
because isn't he speaking
it's completely
Shoot.
intelligible. It's some, I want to say Irish, like
Yeah.
village dialect or something.
Yeah, he's like speaking Irish something the entire movie, right?
Yeah,
Is he accurate
it's
there too? Or
I don't think so, because so I looked into it a little bit, so I was like, I
yeah,
wonder if he did get the part because of this. And I couldn't find anything on that specifically, but I did find that they wanted him to play a different role in Snatch, but I think they wanted him to do an English accent and he couldn't do it. And so they're like, all
yeah.
right, well, why don't you do this role? And I don't know if they thought that was good or if it just worked out okay. But I really like him in Snatch. He's great in that, and that crazy
Yeah.
accent. It's all, I mean, if anything, he's offending white people, and to me that's fine. But
What are his other dramatic roles? But like, I guess he's been in a number of them. Like, I think Legends of the Fall is like the only thing that I can
yeah.
think of. Everything else is like action oriented and like, uh, what do you call it? Ocean's 13 and stuff.
Yeah. Or
Ocean's
like
11
Ad
stuff.
Astra, he's pretty it's fairly dramatic role, but it is like sci-fi action a bit too.
Is that any good? I'd heard it.
Oh,
It's
Ad
on my
Astra?
list, but yeah.
I like it. I like it. It's not great, but it's kind of bleak. It's got a
Mm.
bit of a 2001 feel to it to me, and I like that. That's my kind of thing. So I it's pretty good. Pretty good. I think it's worth a watch.
I feel like that came out around the same time as like Gravity and a bunch of other space
Mhm.
movies that I end up just got spaced
Gr-
out.
Gravity is dumb fun. That's one where
Yeah.
um I don't want to say that I could turn my brain off for it because that's not something I do.
Yeah.
But it was like there was enough going on where I didn't stop to question everything, and I feel like a lot of it was pretty good, like pretty scientifically accurate. But Ad Astra it's a little slow. There's lot of different space locations. That's cool. I've watched it a few times. I do like it.
Okay. I'll have to check that. All right. Back to Joe. Um, he's with Susan. Susan comes back. She tells him that she's glad he came, but she's with Drew. And he does the whole, well, you're not with him right now. And it's clear she doesn't really care,
Right, right.
you know? Um, and also, man, I've never, my brother's a doctor, but I've never gone to visit him at the hospital. But I feel like you can't just walk into a hospital and just say, hey, I'm here to see my brother,
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not.
right? Or you can't just walk in, even with flowers, and just say, like, hey, I'm here to see Dr. Hottie, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, she's clearly, I think, warming up to Joe, but still, uh, she's with Drew. So I guess this is
Yes.
where she can't really be that much into Drew if she's entertaining Joe this much. Joe and
Agreed.
Brad Pitt from
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
So we pan back to Bill's office. Bill is finding himself having to explain himself to a very annoyed Drew. And I don't know. This is another one of those scenes where I get annoyed because somehow Drew wasn't thrown off at all when Joe starts defending Bill. When Joe's saying, hey, you know, maybe not, but like you cheating on your French philosopher exam,
Right.
could have sped up your graduation, could not have, but like you did it anyway. And I don't understand how, like, so Drew looks at him all like, what the hell? And then they just kind of walk past that, and then
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. It
just
was
kind of
weird.
forgotten, right?
Yeah, that was weird. I forgot about that. Joe said something to Drew about like cheating his way through college.
Yeah. Like,
But
how do
then
you not be like, how did you know about that?
well, how does he know about that, but he doesn't know about the saying death and taxes?
Right. And peanut butter.
So, yeah, exactly. I mean, I understand not tasting peanut butter before, but anyway. Go ahead. Sorry.
But then, so I guess, I guess it's easy to walk past that because Bill starts losing his patience when Drew presses the issue, and it's just like, I've decided that's it. Like, get out of my office, and Drew leaves, and Joe's asking him, what are you so like? Why do you care? Like, I'm here for you. you know, like, what do you give a shit about? Like what they do with the company? And then Bill also all of a sudden just kind of explodes like on Joe, and just kind of explains that he just wants to leave something behind, and he doesn't want anyone screwing up his life's work, which I can kind of get. He does the
I get
whole
it.
like
Yeah.
a man wants to leave something behind, and he wants it to be left behind the way that he made it, and he also wants it left behind with a sense of honor and dedication that he kind of dedicated to it.
Mhm.
I really wish I knew more people like Bill as like
Yeah.
leaders in corporate
Yes,
America.
yes. Well, this is a work of fiction.
I know that's a work of fiction. It doesn't help that the best presidents are in works of fiction.
Yes.
And that the best corporate leaders are works of fiction, because Bill does not seem like somebody that would kiss the ring regardless of who it is. He's just somebody with like a lot of conviction and stuff. Yeah, it's a work of fiction, but god damn it. Anyway, Joe says something that like, easy Bill, you're going to give yourself a heart attack and ruin my vacation. And I kind of chuckled at that. Because clearly Bill was getting worked up. So family dinner comes up. Quince is telling Bill he's with him all the way. He doesn't understand it, why he's rejecting the Montague offer, but he's with him. And then Bill says something that basically comes back and bites him in the ass, which is anything is possible. It's up to Joe. And that just comes back later in this movie. Quince is trying to tell Drew to relax because he knows that Drew is down because he was heading up that whole agreement with Bill Montague or Joe Montague. And then Quince repeats the whole "it's up to Joe" line, and you can tell that Drew's Weasley head had got an idea because he's asking Drew to repeat it, and he's got this whiff of something. And then dinner starts, and Bill's trying to give a speech that he flubs up. He does this whole like, "I remember when you were little girls," and Quince says, "I love little girls."
I had that in my notes too. I think all I remember about the speech is Quince saying like, "I love little girls," and everybody deservedly gives him dirty looks.
Right. Except for Joe, who's just like, "Oh."
Yeah. The other thing I remember about the dinner was Susan thinking that it's adorable that Joe wants peanut butter for dinner. Kind of like the way you think it's adorable that your toddler would do that, right?
That whole part of dinner cracked me up because they just start talking about peanut butter and small comforts, and Drew is between them, and he's very clearly getting annoyed and just like, what the hell is going on here? Because they're not even hiding it, right? And then she's like, "Oh,"
he gets super butthurt.
Oh, he gets insanely butthurt because Joe even starts bringing up I'm worried about your patient, and then everybody, especially Bill and Drew, are like, WTF, right? Because apparently no one else has ever visited Susan while she's at work. So Bill even asks Joe why he swung by the hospital, and they just have like this, just everything just gets kind of tense. I mean, gets tense for the humans. Joe doesn't seem to really care one way or another. Drew bails for the evening after dinner, but not before breaking up with Susan. And Drew calls Joe a creep and brings, which I guess is in line with a lot of the things you were saying. But he brings up how he doesn't like how she and Joe look at each other and how they talk to each other. And then Susan goes around and says like, "Well, I actually like how he talks to me, and I like how I talk to him. So there's that." And so they break up, and she turns around, and there's the creep. It's just, I was like, and then she asked him how long he's been standing there, and he just goes, "I didn't like how he was talking to you." It's like, oh, so you were there for a while, just listening to it. But then, like, okay, so if he was there for a while, then was Drew? Drew was looking right at him while he was talking to her?
He had to have been, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that cracks me up.
Go ahead. Oh, they have a I don't know. I lost count on the number of near kiss lean-ins that they had.
Yes.
between Joe and Susan.
Yep. Yeah, because he was definitely leaning in, and she was leaning in, and then she asked him if he's married because she just was like, I don't know anything about you, and she asked him if he's married, and he's like, nope. And then she asked him if he has a girlfriend, he's like, nope. And then she's like, well, are you gay? And he's like, nope. And she's just confused, and she's like, because he's just like, I mean, it's Brad Pitt standing in front of you,
right?
And they seem like they're about to kiss, but like she just kind of backs out at the last minute. Actually, no, Joe backs out at the last minute,
and because neither one of them could commit.
Yeah.
It's just so many times they're like, oh, and I was watching it sped up, so it was really hilarious.
So when it's not sped up, it is a very long scene.
Yes,
because there's a lot of pausing, and this is definitely one of the, especially when they're like leaning into each other, and he just starts having like a Rain Man moment where he looks away.
Yes,
and it's just like, dude,
that's totally it.
She's trying to lean into you, And then you're
Yeah.
leaning in, but then like if this mic is her lips, he's like leaning in, and then he goes,
He gets all goofy eyed.
yeah. But yeah. So she's kind of frustrated. He's like, yeah, I've had a full day. I'm kind of tired. And then she has, I guess she ends up having a nightcap with her dad. He asks her like, what's up with you and Joe? And she's like, I don't know, but it has something to do with that lightning striking thing that you were talking about. And you know, to Joe, all of a sudden, like, oh shit, you can't fall in love with death. Like, hey, Drew's not
Mhm.
such a bad guy, but he doesn't know
Yeah,
that she just broke
that's
up with Drew.
right. That's right. That's right.
And so she's like, now you like Drew? So she heads to bed. Her dad's clearly not going to tell her who Joe is and why they're involved together. So the next day is a pretty big day because I call this the backstabbing board meeting because Drew calls a meeting with the board to basically throw Bill under the bus and use Bill's words against him. And Quince unwittingly helps with that. And it's the whole it's up to Joe line that comes to bite Bill in the ass.
Two things. One, this is called a quorum when you meet without one of the board
Oh
members
yeah, yeah.
behind their back. It's not illegal, but like it's to do stuff like this.
To
And then the
backstab.
other thing, yes, when Drew puts Quince on the spot, he's like so eager to help
Yeah.
Quince, and like I really appreciate Jeffrey Tambor here. This is him being Hank on Larry Sanders Show. That's exactly how he is.
Mhm.
Like he's just so happy to have been called upon and so proud to be helping, right?
Right.
But having no clue that he just totally fucked Bill over.
But like, so this is the part that was weird because they were having that quorum, but Quince was outside, and they.
Well, he's not part of the board.
No, I thought he was because later in this later. Oh wait, because later the next day when they have the actual vote, Quince and one other guy vote no, not to force Bill into retirement.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I'm not sure. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe he was late. I'm not sure. Or maybe Drew's like, the best thing you can do is to wait outside.
And he listened because he wants to be helpful. So there's all this behind the scenes stuff happening to Bill without him knowing, and he's got like, man, this because again it kind of sucks because he's like, you already know that hey, he's got death, he's dealing with death, he's dealing
Right.
with his own mortality, he's got this stupid birthday party coming up, and then now he has this to deal with. And on the flip side, he's having a lot more time with his family, and they have dinner again the next day without Drew this time.
Another fucking dinner scene.
Yes. I don't know. I remember I looked at it and I was kind of like, oh yeah, I'd be pretty down to have dinner with my daughter. I don't know if they'd be down to have dinner with me 3 days in a row, but I wouldn't mind having a chance to hang out with my kids if I'm that old.
That's fine. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, I'm watching this movie and every other scene is a dinner scene.
There could be, there could have been a dinner scene and a half cut out.
Yes, easily.
Yeah. But this time, Allison brings a few cakes for Bill to choose from because she needs to make a call for the party. And then he makes a comment about how he doesn't like cake. And then he goes, "Oh, it's this goddamn party again." He's clearly stressed out because he knows stuff's happening. Um, Quince tries to do some damage control again and takes a bite of one of the cakes, and he's just loving whatever it was he ate.
Yes.
I think Bill sees that he's kind of hurt his daughter, and he's trying to do some damage control himself. And then I guess he picks a cake, and all of a sudden his Allison's like, "Oh, he does give a shit." And I'm like, he just totally randomly picked a cake. He didn't take a bite out
It's
of
fun.
each one.
Yeah. It's funny that you said that because I wrote down Bill eats cake and everyone rejoices that he gives a shit.
Right. Exactly. And then the whole time this is happening, Joe and Susan just making googly eyes at each other. Like
Yep.
they want to slap the cake on each other and eat it. But yeah. They walk into the library after dinner and Susan's telling him about Bill's rare books. And they start talking about how they like how each other smells. This really is. I didn't really realize it. I don't know why, because I wrote the whole part about 3 dudes writing this. But yeah, this script was totally written by 3 dudes. Yeah, they start making out hard because they can't resist how each other smells. And then Joe Black doesn't really know how to kiss in the beginning. You could totally tell, or at least
Yeah.
Brad Pitt acts like he doesn't know how to kiss in the beginning of it. But Susan is apparently a very good teacher, and he keeps at it.
She shows him the way.
Yeah, and he gets a little bit better.
This was difficult for me because there was a lot of kissy noises, and I cannot deal with kissing noises.
You don't like the slurping and
The stirring the
smacking.
macaroni pot? No.
Joe admits to his body feeling weird and his knees getting weak. Right in the middle of all of it, Bill walks in and surprisingly does not lose his shit, seeing his daughter making out with Death.
What choice does he have?
Yeah, I mean, there is that, right? I mean, I don't know, man. I still feel like I would be. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm just an over. I just have anger issues. But if I saw somebody making out with my daughter in my house, I'd be pretty pissed.
I understand.
But Joe has the look of somebody struggling with his first case of blue balls right after the scene. It's just like, oh, I was well on my way. I don't know what it was going on there, but there's a hard full stop right there. The next day, Bill and Joe get to work, and he is surprised that the board has convened without telling him in his own office.
It's a bad sign.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you ever been blindsided like that? Or have you been at a company where...
No. I just haven't liked board meetings in general.
Yeah. My own experience has not made me very eager to take funding or to have a board of any kind.
I have seen people, like as a consultant, we were board observers, and I have been privy to people exploding in board meetings and then getting fired.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that the Tesla board hasn't like exploded, but they've all made so much money. They probably don't care what Elon does.
That's 100% the problem.
Yeah. Anyway, so Drew has clearly called this meeting, and Bill reiterates that he doesn't give a shit about what the new offer is. Parish Communications isn't for sale, and Drew calls for the vote regardless. Well, actually, no, he doesn't call for a vote just yet. He asks who Joe is first, and then tells Bill the board wants to know because they all believe Joe is making the real decisions and not Bill, and that is a problem for all of them. Bill, being the cool guy he is, refuses to disclose who Joe is, and Drew invokes a vote basically to force him into retirement on his 65th birthday, which is basically him getting fired as the chairman. And everybody votes yes except for that one other guy, Eddie, I think it is, and Quince. And Quince, I think, is just losing his shit, sitting there going like, "Oh, fuck, they used me on this."
Yep. They got used.
I really... So sad to hear about Jeffrey Tambor and all that crap, but I really loved him as Quince.
Drew really rubs it in though, like on the way out.
That's what's so stupid.
He's a good job, Quince. We couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. Yeah, like Bill leaves, and then Joe does his thing where he lets everybody know, "I'm gonna let you. Don't worry, you're all gonna find out who I am soon enough." And then Drew has this whole like, "What? Who the fuck is this guy?" He just has that look on his face. But like in the end, to your point, like all good villains, Drew can't help but he pulls Quince aside and just tells him what the big gameplay is and how Bonteque is gonna break up Parish Communications and sell it off. And he was like, and Quince was the nail on that coffin. But yeah, I gotta say, I like the Drew actor a lot more in Dawn of the Dead. He was...
Oh yeah, he's a total prick here.
He's a total jerk in this movie. Oh yeah, and then I get to the section of my notes called death boning.
I wrote, they turned the pool room into the bone zone. You got an actual spit take.
Yeah, you said that when I was drinking my coffee. So, yeah.
But first, let me just point out one thing. It starts with a slow pan down from the ceiling.
Yes.
And after I took note of how slow it was, I remembered that I was watching at 1.7x speed.
And it's still slow.
It is 20 seconds, like normal speed. Yeah. It's 20 seconds for them to just pan down. Like, you do not need this in this movie.
I don't know if maybe if they do all of those slow pans inside of the mansion to I guess accentuate how rich and filthy rich Bill is, I guess, or how successful.
I don't know what other reason there would be for it, but
yeah.
And then they're kissing, and it's incredibly awkward. It's like they're trying to swallow each other's faces. It's what is going on here?
But I think for some context, before all that happens, he tells her that Bill is asleep, and then he says, "You must be hungry." And she's like, "No." But she asked him if he is, and he's like, "Hell yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry for some Susan." Anyway, I'm just kidding. He did not say that. He says something much more romantic, which escapes me at the moment. They make love finally, and when Death finally gets to where he's going, he is clearly overwhelmed by the experience.
So wait, now I got to back up because if this movie had any balls, he would have come in like 2 seconds. If he even got inside first.
That is true.
At one point, she calls it. She's like, "What did she?" She said, "This is where I had to look at the script because I couldn't remember the line. I wasn't going to watch the movie again." She goes, "It's so wonderful to make love to you. It's like making love to someone who has never made love before."
Right. To your point, the truth of the matter was she should have said that around like the third go at it or something, because
Right. Yeah.
nothing
Okay.
would have happened the first
Making my
time.
point. Yes, exactly. So I have a fucking gripe. First, stop calling it making love. That's gross.
Yes.
But then she's like, she liked it. She says she liked it.
Yeah, she did.
The most preposterous thing in this movie about the literal personification of death is that this woman would in any way have been satisfied by plain old missionary sex with a guy who's ostensibly never even masturbated before, let alone had sex.
Well,
that is completely unrealistic.
To be fair, we don't know what he did to himself when he went back to his bedroom when he said he was tired the day before.
I guess he could have practiced. He could have practiced all night.
Yes.
That's true. He could have. Right.
Yeah.
If he pounded one out a few times, he could have lasted.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, like, no one is good their first time.
Yes.
You are terrible at sex for a while. It takes practice, right? And what she should have said was, "That was nice."
Yes.
Also, how bad of a lay was Drew that this guy was the best bang of her life the first time?
I mean, to your point, the fact that this was written by 3 dudes really
exactly right.
Right?
Really,
like it makes it. I think so much makes more sense now that that's been kind of put front and center in my brain. Why
best sex of her life.
Yes,
sure. PSA for the fellas: take care of your partners. Okay, the female orgasm is not a myth. Just put the work in. Come on.
Yes. Yeah. So at some point, I don't know. If it was Claire Forlani, man, it really should have been like the next day. But at some point in this afternoon, they put their clothes back on. Now this is also after confirming that he likes it better than peanut butter. They get their clothes back on. They're making out in the foyer, and Bill sees them kissing, and he is just not happy. He's walking down the stairs, and without even turning around, Joe says, "I see you." And Bill walks down to him, and he just kind of loses his shit. Like, he wants to know what Joe wants. Joe has to remind him of who he is and that he's not just some random suitor.
And he's like, "Be careful, Bill."
Yeah, I just got a taste, and I am liking it. So
I mean, he wants to stick around now. So
right?
watch yourself some time, Bill. I don't know what the complaint is.
Yeah. And then for whatever reason, I guess I'm kind of fuzzy on the timeline here. I don't know if it's right after this or what, but Joe shows up at the hospital with flowers looking for Susan. And he is too early because Susan happens to be at home looking for him when she runs into Bill, or runs into her dad. And she tells him that she's found everything that she ever wanted in Joe, that love and that passion and that lightning hitting that her dad was talking about. And it's cute. You want that for your daughter, I think. Except that not if the dude was, Joe Black. So Bill actually tells her, he's probably not going to be around for a lot longer, and I just can't tell you why, but he's not going to be. And she gets really frustrated, and she tells him, "But I love him, Daddy." And he just barks back at her that he doesn't care, like he's not good for you. And then I didn't get this part, the whole "of course not, Daddy, I love you too," before she like walks out.
I thought it was a little bit touching, actually, that she said that I love you too.
Yeah.
But
I thought, I was curious, like, is it her affirming to him that she's not going to stop loving him, even just because she loves Joe as much as she does?
That's how I took it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you can tell it's killing Bill, especially now that he's like, oh shit. We go back to the hospital because Joe has nothing to do but wait for Susan to get there. And he's there with the old lady, the best part of this movie.
The return of the accent.
Yes. And he's telling her, hey, yeah, no, just so you know, I'm really, really not here for you. I'm here to visit the doctor. And she recognizes that Joe's fallen for Susan. And he confirms. And she asks if Susan knows who he really is. And he's like, eh, she knows what she wants. She wants some of this. And yes, I don't want to do the accent, but he basically says, I can't do right by anybody. I come here to take you and you want to stay. I want to leave you here, but you want to go. Like, what the hell is basically what he says, except in that Jamaican patois.
Mm-hmm.
But so she kind of gives him what I think is like one of the best. I think I liked what she said about life and how she basically tells him, hey, you had a nice vacation. Just take those pictures, come do what you got to do with me, and just come back with me to the other place. You'll have those
Yeah.
pictures. And she's like, most people don't even get that. And the reality is, like, he does that sign where he does that. He makes a comment about how he's lonely in the other place, and he's got somebody that wants him here. And she's like, well, most of us are lonely on this side too, you know. And I think that kind of shakes him. But I just like that that exchange between the two of them, where she's explaining that, hey,
Yeah.
take what you have. And then he does the whole thing where he asks her if she's got enough pictures, and she grants her wish. And
Oh,
I
that's a
like
little
that.
sad.
It's really sad because I'm just like, there goes the best acting in this movie.
Well, this movie just got worse.
Anyway, so Joe goes back home, goes back to Bill's house, and he lets Bill know that, I think we're done here. I think I've found everything that I want. I
he
got my
got it wet
boner
one
on.
time.
I've sowed my oats. I
Yeah.
think I'm done with this trip. On top of that, it's with your daughter. Anyway, so he tells him, "Hey, tomorrow after the party, that's going to be it. Yeah, we'll go after the party." And then the next day, we're finally at the next day, and this is a really long movie and probably a really long recording. So sorry.
That's all right. We'll be all right.
Yeah. But it's party time, and it's the day of the party, and Quince is miserable. He tells Joe about how badly he messed up, and Joe confides in Quince that he's confused about like love, and he's clearly not paying attention to how miserable Quince is because he's got problems of his own.
Right.
And so he starts asking him about Allison and how they met, and he's like, "Well, how do you know that you're like in love?" And he says that Quince says something pretty much to the effect of, "Hey, like she knows the worst about me, and everything's okay." And he's like, well, how do you know that? Like, he's just asking questions about love. I thought that was a pretty interesting when Quince was saying how, like, you and your partner knowing everything about each other, like your deepest, darkest secrets,
Yeah.
makes you
Yeah.
free.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I think it would have been better if it paid off in the end and he told Susan the truth.
Because he
but
never does, right?
No.
Right. And I think that's the sad thing when you connect that to, the lessons that Death learned. I think I want to think that Susan learned it because I feel like she realizes who he is eventually. But Death never really, like, I guess, understands love because he never came out and said it, you know?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. Anyway, I Quince, when Quince was like, "Do you like me, Joe?" I was like, "Oh, Quince." I just wanted to pat him
I
on the
love
head.
Quince.
Yeah. And then Brad Pitt saying, "Oh yes, Quince, you're one of my favorites." It just made me like smile. It was just like, "Oh, good boy,
Yeah.
good boy." Um, because then
It's what Quince needs.
Yeah, and then Quince just breaks down crying, and he admits everything to Joe, and then Joe's just like, just tell Bill. I'm sure it'll be fine."
Yep. I mean, he's right.
He's right. Yeah.
It's good advice.
Yeah, because Bill. He's in the know that Bill's got bigger problems, and he's probably gonna forgive Quince. And also, Quince didn't mean for all of that to happen. And then comes, there are a few, despite how long this movie is and how like questionable a lot of things are. I do have scenes like this coming scene where between Allison and Bill, where they have a really nice heart to heart. Maybe it's because I'm the oldest and I feel like I was never the favorite in my family. But she tells him that he was a very loving father, despite how he played favorites, and Susan was clearly the favorite, right? Allison, and but she acknowledges it's okay because, like, you know, she's actually describes how she sees the look on on his face when she walks in the room, and it's just like, oh, was it's her again. I really feel her when you say this. And then when Susan walks in, it's like, oh my God, like it's like sunshine walking into the room, right?
Right.
But she was always okay with it because he knew how much he loved her. And I feel like as the oldest child, I get this feeling. You know what I mean? Um, I also thought it was funny that I feel like the "No, I don't have any favorites" line is what every parent is supposed to say in that moment, but he does not say it. He just pretty much said he just pretty much acknowledges, "Yeah, Susan's my favorite. I'm sorry."
How it
Um,
goes.
yeah. But Allison seems overjoyed to be acknowledged as much as she just was. And yeah, it's heartwarming that she's like as happy as she was by that moment between her and her dad. Anyway, the big party happens. Susan arrives and she is looking good. She tells Joe that she heard he's leaving, and Joe confirms. And also, surprise part two, he's leaving tonight. And he tells her that there's so much he needs to tell her, and you could tell that like he'd been digesting what the old lady had told him. He doesn't want to leave, and she doesn't care. She wants to be with him, so she's gonna go wherever he goes, and that gives him pause because he's like, "Oh, I didn't take into account that you might want to come with me." And he goes, "That's good to know."
I kind of thought it would have been an interesting twist if he had taken her with him in the end.
It would have, but then what it would look like? It'd just be her voice in the darkness
Yeah, I don't know.
going, "Oh man."
I don't need to know, but
Yeah,
like if she had gone over the hill with Joe and Bill or
right.
something, and that was the end of the movie, I think that would have been better. But
I feel like how do you do that with Bill not being super angry and then just dying the most like sad way
that's a good
possible?
point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I would just be like, well, I'm going to be dead anyway. What do I care? But
Yeah. No, I think well, they think that's me and my anger management issues. I'd be like,
right,
why the
right,
like she has so much life ahead of her.
yeah,
What is she gonna
that's
do with
fair.
you? And then yeah,
She's gonna help him take people out.
right. Yeah, she is gonna have that power. Anyway, um, Quince is confessing to his involvement in the coup, and exactly like how Joe said, Bill was like, "That's cool. You're
Totally
forgiven."
fine.
Yeah, totally fine. I know you didn't mean it, buddy. Like, just look
Yeah,
at you. You don't do it. There's no way you could have
exactly,
meant it.
exactly.
But Joe arrives, and Quince is like, "Yeah, this was all Joe's idea to just come clean and tell you. I'm gonna leave because you guys clearly have some stuff to talk about." But before he leaves, Bill tells him to get Drew to come to the party, and Drew's like, "That might be a little hard," and Bill's like, "Just get it done." And he goes, "Yeah, boss, I'm gonna take care of it." It's like,
He just
it's like
can't. He can't wait to help out.
well, because I mean, I think Bill
Yeah,
gave him the face like, "I just fucking forgave you for some fucked up
yeah.
shit you did. You better get his ass over here." Uh, and so he leaves the room, and then Joe gives him I guess Joe drops his bombshell of like, "Hey, you know how I said we're leaving tonight? Well, I'm also taking Susan."
Right.
And that does not go over well with Bill. And then they just have this back and forth with Bill using Joe's words against him about how like he doesn't understand love. He asked Joe like point blank, have you actually told her who you are?" And Joe says, I didn't. And Bill just starts losing it, and he's just threatening Joe despite knowing who he is. And he gives another speech about how he's loved Susan from the moment she was born to the moment, to like now, and every minute in between. And man, I I
It,
love that whole speech. As a
it's a
girl
good
dad,
speech.
I mean, I think as any dad, like you
Can
you
confirm.
you
Yeah.
get it, right? Um,
Yeah. I also really liked the like right before that when he used Joe's words against him. He's
yeah,
like, "Those are my words now."
that's fine
But
now.
yeah, that's it's a pretty good scene overall, especially because of A Hop.
Yes. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins. Outside of the old lady, Anthony Hopkins has like the best lines.
Yeah.
And he has like the biggest speeches or monologues or whatever. But yeah, Joe loses his temper and Bill keeps at it. He kind of just brought it up with Joe, like, hey, you came here to ask for my permission. You're deaf. You don't have to ask anybody for permission. So he's like,
Right.
so you must have a conscience growing inside of you, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Bill just sort of tells Joe to tell her who you really are, and then I'll back off. Let's see how it really goes once you tell her who you really are. Be straight with her, right? Um, so I guess Joe decides, all right, bet, and he goes to Susan, and he's about to try. You can tell he's gonna try to tell her, and she can tell right off the bat that something's changed because I think as soon as he saw her, he realized he couldn't do it, and she reminds him of all the coffee shop. This is after she tells him that she wants to bone right there in the middle of the crowd.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
But she reminds him of the coffee shop that morning when they met, and Joe just has this guilty look because he's realizing, oh shit, she is projecting this dude, the guy that owns this meat sack that I'm wearing, and she's projecting that onto me, and that's who she's actually in love with. And he realizes that she's just fallen in love with someone else despite everything that they've been through together. Like, she still thinks that he's that dude in the coffee shop. And I got to give it to Brad Pitt here. He does a pretty good job of acting out that conflict inside of him, just showing how, like, I think he's having that pained decision of
Yeah.
where he's just like, "Oh, I, I'm not gonna do this," and he just kisses her. You can tell that. I think she makes a comment about how, like, this is like, why does this feel like
This feels like
goodbye?
goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're not wrong, but he spends 7 minutes breaking up with Susan.
it could be
It
it could
is
be
an
shorter.
eternity. It is so long.
Yeah.
And she does not guess that he's deaf, and he does not admit to it. And I'm like, I don't know.
But there is
That
that scene
bothered
where
me.
she's like, "You're," and part of me is like, because when she's like, you're not you,"
Yeah.
and then he's just kind of waiting for her to connect the dots.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe she put it together and just didn't say anything, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's
It
that's
kind of bothered me.
that's part of my big question at the end of this movie was at what point, like, does she end up realizing that he's deaf, and does she start kind of figuring it out around then? Because then she goes into, it's like she falls back into like willful ignorance when she's like, "Oh, you're Joe," and instead of actually like saying what I feel like she wants to say.
Right. Right.
And then he just promises her that she'll always have what he had, what she wanted, what she had in the coffee shop, and tells her that he'll love her forever. And then that's it. He thanks her for loving. He said, "Thank you for loving me," and that's the last that I think they talk to each other. But that's quite the breakup.
As Joe Black.
As Joe
Anyway.
Black, yes. Yeah. Uh, and then one of my favorite parts of the movie is also the "Suck It, Drew"
Yeah.
scene. Well, Joe goes back to tell Bill that it's time, and Susan's not going to be joining them. And this, you can tell, eases Bill's soul quite a bit. Right around then, Quince busts in and says, "Hey, Drew's on his way over." And Quince is buttering up Drew on his way to meet with Bill. And Drew thinks that Bill has summoned him to apologize or something. Because, hey, what can he do at this point, right?
Right.
So Drew thinks he's summoned him. He shows up. Joe kind of unloads on Drew and finally reveals that he is an IRS agent. Which,
Uh,
yeah, good.
That was okay. And then he uses the death and taxes line,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that was fine. But I was like, so was he just pretending to be a childlike moron this whole time?
Maybe because he was very well put together during the scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really liked what do you call it? The whole time Bill was like, "Yeah, no, don't," just like, because I think
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
thought he was gonna tell him he was deaf, and he was gonna
Yeah.
touch him, and then he would just like explode, which I think I would have been okay with also.
Right.
'Cause I was like, it looked like he was like not. He was really just worried about what the hell is this? What the hell does death do when
He
he's
didn't want to
decided
have
he's
to
sick of your shit?
deal with a body.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of dealing with bodies, I have questions about that later.
Yes. Yes. We have the same questions.
Yeah, I liked how Drew was looking very smug, and then right up until the IRS agent line, he starts like he was looking smug up until the IRS agent reveal, and then Bill confirms it, and he's like, "Oh shit, I might actually be in trouble."
Mm.
But I think he's still clinging to the fact that like you ain't got shit on me, and then Joe walks up. Joe like walks up pretty close to his face and tells Drew that, "Hey, if you don't take this, I'm gonna take it as far as I can go, and you don't even know, buddy. There's a room where you are gonna sit in with no doors and a whole millennia for a whole millennia." And at that point, Drew goes, "All right, I'm gonna confess." And then, yeah, the whole death and taxes line comes back up, and Drew is incredulous that this whole time Joe was an IRS agent.
Good.
Yeah. Anyway, so that drama's over. Bill gives his birthday speech with Joe looking from afar, and Joe's looking like a sad sack. Just like, oh man, I should have at least hooked up with her one more time before going.
He had his opportunity right there on the dance floor.
He did.
She wanted to.
He did. But Bill's speech is short and beautiful, and I think it's one of those like my life speaks for itself. You know, I was really lucky, and he's what I wish more rich people were like. Like, just
Yes.
know that you were rich, and you got there. Yeah, a lot of talent, a lot of hard work and perseverance, but also like a lot of luck, right? I do think that there are certain billionaires in today's society that seem to conflate their amount of money with their solely their talent.
Yeah, I agree.
He gives his birthday speech. He gives a hug and a kiss to Allison. Walks by her when he sees Susan. Just oh man, poor Allison. I really feel for her. But he walks by her, gives a whole speech to Susan about telling her not to worry about him, that he's gonna be fine, and that like being, just give her a whole thing telling her he'll be okay, and that part of the reason he'll be okay is because he knows that she's okay and stuff. Which is like sucks because like this whole interaction with her, and he just walked by Susan or Allison. And they have a dance, and right after their dance, the fireworks start, and Bill tells Susan he's going to catch up with her, and he makes his way to Joe. And
So one second.
yeah,
The like this whole part when he's saying bye to Allison and Susan, or high-fiving Allison basically.
good job.
And Joe's standing there in the background.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of like when it's time to leave an event, and I will just leave immediately.
Yeah.
But then my wife talks to 7 people on the way out.
Yes. Oh my God, you are my wife. But my wife has that exact same like complaint about me. How I just she calls it the Filipino goodbye.
Yeah.
And how she will just walk by, like she'll say bye and she'll head out and she'll be waiting for me, like for the whole
That's
time
me.
because I'm saying
That's me.
bye to
I do
everybody.
the Irish goodbye. I don't even say goodbye. Like if I see somebody I need to say goodbye to on my way out, hey, I'll see you later, man. I'm out. That's it.
Yeah. So it drives my wife up the wall. But it's also I get your wife. That's just that's how we are, I think. So yeah, Joe, he walks up and Joe is tearing, just overwhelmed by this feeling of the moment. And Bill actually thanks him for giving it to Susan or doing what he did for Susan, which is nothing. He just decided not to take her. He always wanted to hear. He also, I mean, I did like the part where he was like, I always wanted Susan to talk about somebody the way she spoke about you, and that was a high compliment because I mean, or not because Drew seemed to have set a really low bar. But yeah, Joe thanks Bill as well for everything. But I mean, I don't know that Joe's experience would have been as good with a normal person as it was with like a dude that was filthy rich like Bill was.
Right. He definitely would not have been able to throw down in the pool room with a normal person.
And it would like me, Joe would just be like, "Oh, dude, let's just go.
Just get this over with, please.
Let's just go." You just sit in front of your computer way too much.
Like, anyway. We'll go to kebab shop and then let's get out of here.
Right. Have one more kebab. I did like Anthony Hopkins' last line of like the "Don't blow smoke up my ass, you're gonna ruin my autopsy."
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny.
I like that one.
I don't know if it was. I don't know if that was his last line, but one of his last lines was when he said, "It's hard to let go," and
Oh
like
yeah,
that
yeah,
got me a little bit. Yeah,
it did.
I was like, "Damn, this movie."
Yeah, and that's what I think. That's what's so frustrating about this movie is it has really great heart tugging moments, but there's just there are a lot of things that I think when you actually rewatch it to really watch it, a lot of a lot of these like inconsistencies pop up, right? Um, like there's so many feels, I just even what really got me was when Bill says, should I be afraid?" And Joe goes, "Not a man like you." I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah,
that's so good. I imagine that if something, if death came for certain uh people in power, uh Joe would be like, "Man, I'd be fucking shitting in my pants if I were you." Starting random wars, trying to gut Medicare and Medicaid and shit. Like you're in for a party. But yeah, the ending had like all sorts of feels, or at least this ending had all sorts of feels for me. Um, and then the part where everything gets problematic for me is when Susan sees Brad Pitt and Brad Pitt
yes,
and Anthony Hopkins walking away. She walks over there to the bridge, and right when she gets to the bridge, Brad Pitt is walking up without her dad, and he's
yep,
confused, and they're both
yep,
confused, and no one's wondering where her dad is because I feel like I would hope that my daughter's first question would be like, "Where's my dad?"
yeah, yeah. There, his body is just over the hill there.
Right,
Like, there's no way this is gonna work out between them. Like, it's
right.
just impossible,
He
right?
is murder suspect number 1
Yes.
in part 2 of this movie. In the sequel to this movie, he is in jail because there's no one else can explain what happened to this guy, what
Yeah.
happened to Bill Parrish, right?
And then, and then she's like, "I wish you had known my father." So she knows her dad is dead,
That's
right?
that's what I so that's the part where I'm like, "Oh, so she does understand that that Joe Black was deaf and that he had
Mhm.
come for her dad." Somewhere in there, she made that connection. Um, yeah, I feel like Meet Joe Black 2 is I think it's both of them are in jail because they were in cahoots to kill her
Yes.
dad
Yeah.
and get
It doesn't
his
look good.
get her inheritance, right?
Yeah. It does not look good. That's for sure.
Because how else? I think that's where I don't know how you end this in a tidy manner.
Yeah. I mean, I could have used an after credit scene where they deal with finding and reporting Bill's dead body or getting rid of
Right.
it. I don't know.
Right. It's like, hey, you're gonna die, and all this shit's gonna go down because both of you seem to have no idea what happened to your dad. And you're both the last two people everybody saw with
Yeah.
him.
Yes. It's
Right?
not a good look.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
Even that waiter that was there asking, like, hey, yeah, the
Mhm.
last thing he said to me was looking for peanut butter.
Yeah.
And I don't know if peanut butter is a chemical you put on dead bodies to like make it easier for animals to come eat them. But yeah. So yeah, I did end this with I think she did deep down understand that Joe was deaf. But then like to me it's just like, okay, well Brad Pitt doesn't question that. He just the last thing he remembers was being a ping pong ball on somebody's windshield. And then he wakes up with a fitting suit at a party with fireworks, and that girl that he was thirsting for is there looking
Well,
gorgeous in a dress.
first next to a dead body.
Well, I mean,
Right?
we don't know like if he's next to a dead body or if Joe just vamoosed him in his entirety and then just disposed, melted the dead body, right? Um,
Out of convenience for
yeah,
everyone else.
but
That's
he
my
just
opinion.
doesn't question why he's there at a party with a suit on,
No.
and the hottie from the cafe was there because he never got her name either.
Right.
Um, but yeah, she does the whole thing where she's like, I wish if she had known my father. And he's like, me too. And then she's like, oh, okay, I'm good with this.
Just like, yeah, that she's good with it, knowing that her dad just died.
So I don't know how well, yeah, I don't know how you end this movie. I feel like there's a parody that should be made somewhere that Meet Joe Black too, or like
Oh,
at
I
least a
bet you there
skit.
is.
I wish there was an SNL skit on this with both of them going to jail.
There might be, yeah.
But on my first viewing of it, I thought that everything was it was a very poignant wrap up of her being reunited and Death keeping his promise that she'll have that love from the cafe.
Yeah, I kind of missed that part about the promise, but that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And then we close out to that Somewhere Over the Rainbow song that not just me, but I think a lot of people like.
Some people do.
Yeah. Yes, not you. It has been played quite a lot. Quite a
Yeah,
bit.
it's overplayed,
yeah.
but it's fine. It's a fine song.
Yeah.
I actually used it in a home video, like transferring like 8mm home video. And like it's boring to watch it without sound, so I used that as one of the songs.
Yeah.
So I've really heard it a lot. But anyways.
Yep. So wow, that's a lot for 3 hours, I guess, to condense.
Yeah. Well, you got it down to 2.
I was in a
So
rush.
there's that.
I did not want this to be a 3.
Well, we didn't have to talk about every single slow pan down that took 20 seconds.
Yes.
But that brings us to changes we'd like to have seen. Since you've been talking so much, I'll go first here.
Okay.
My biggest change would be that I wish I chose a different podcast host.
Sorry.
Just
That's
kidding.
2.
Of course.
Strike 2 for me now. Yes. I mean, but I think I did it on purpose. Lucy and this to push the limit.
Please don't sink any lower. So I said Brad Pitt should have done the Jamaican accent the entire movie.
Almost did another spit take there.
I was trying to get you. And for real though, I wish they needed to get this movie down to like an hour 45, which is almost half the movie. You cannot have a 3-hour romantic fantasy. It does not work.
That would have been the sweet spot, I think, for this movie.
Like they could have taken off 15 minutes easily just by not lingering so much on every scene. This is not 2001 or There Will Be Blood. They did not need these long lingering shots.
Yes.
But I wish they would stop making Brad Pitt act like a child around everyone but Bill, and especially around Susan, because that was creepy. It was like mommy and her kid energy. I feel like Joe Black should have come clean with Susan. And in the end, I think it's fine that Brad Pitt comes back and that he and Susan can have a life together, but she should at least like grieve her father for a bit.
Not even where'd my dad go? He went over the bridge with you. I didn't have this on my original list, but I definitely believe that this script would have benefited a lot from a woman writer.
Totally. Yeah. I didn't have that in my changes, but after that discussion, yes.
I mean, it is crazy because when I think about through the discussion, all the problematic areas that I did have in the back of my head seem like, oh, it is because a dude wrote this or 3 dudes wrote this. And it was definitely different times in 1998 versus now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, I do think this ending sucked and made no sense to me. Just the whole Brad Pitt showing up and at a party with the clothes on that aren't his, and those aren't his first questions, and her not wondering where her dad is. That is so weird.
None of it makes sense.
And then we brought it up a few times, just everybody skipping through a lot of WTF moments where Death says something that clearly, like the French philosophy cheating, and they don't tug on the thread that they had totally had right in front of them, like under their nose, right?
Maybe they're just like, I'm not gonna get anywhere with this guy. Just forget it.
But like they clearly have like that what the fuck look on their face, like Drew with the cheating on his French philosopher exam, right? And then just skips right onto something else without tugging on that thread. That part's annoying.
All right. Should we go to rating then?
Sure. It's not going to be as high as I thought it would. I'll say that.
So with the Rotten Tomatoes scores, it was 46% with all critics, 38% with top critics, 81% average score of 4 out of 5 with all audience, and there was no verified audience. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's too old or something. So I don't know what the audience is smoking. I think I can confidently say that this is solidly in the top 10 dumbest movies I've ever suffered through.
Higher, like worse than Lucy or better than Lucy?
We will get to that in a moment.
Okay.
I feel like Bill could have lived forever just keeping Death distracted by a laser pointer and a fidget spinner.
I mean, he was smart enough, right?
Yeah, right. There was so many excruciatingly long pauses in this movie, even at 1.7x speed. Actually, at one point, I was wondering if all the acting seemed so weird because I was watching it sped up, but then I realized I was accidentally watching part of it at normal speed. So it is just weird. It's weirdly acted. Mostly the pauses between Susan and Joe. On a positive note, I did like Jeffrey Tambor.
Yep.
And then I'll hand it over to you for your final notes, or if you just want to give a rating. Also, do you have a unit of scale for the rating here?
I don't.
Okay, I got one for you.
I will say that I agree with the 81% in that 81% probably did not watch this movie again.
That's the problem. Yeah, that is
Yes.
totally the problem with so many movie ratings.
Yes. I do think, because I remember really liking this movie, and I did like it. I did the parts that I rewatched that I really liked, I still liked. I just, on the rewatch, I noticed all the other problematic shit.
Could you imagine how much more I would complain if I had watched this a second time?
If you had watched this, if this was your second time watching it, you would have told me no. When I said, "What about Meet Joe Black?" We would not have had this episode happen.
Right.
If
you are correct. That is like, I will quit this podcast. So go ahead.
No, so I mean, I think I'm definitely not in the B range for rating this movie after the second time around for this watch. I still like the parts that I saw, but there are things I just can't get over, like this inexplicable ending. I would change that. I would totally change that if the ending led to something like a, I don't know, a police escape movie afterwards for part 2, where they're just on the run from the law because everybody is trying to track down who killed Bill Parrish. But yeah, no, I think this is definitely, I don't know, solidly in D grade territory for me on the rewatch.
Wow. All right. Okay.
It's not quite the worst for me.
We're closer than I thought. So I would put this in F.
Yes, I got that.
And I would give this, I've got some units for it. I would give this 3 out of 10 problematic Jamaican accents.
See, that part just didn't bug me so much because I loved that lady.
So I would still count that as a highlight because, like, it's something you kind of have to see.
Yeah.
That, and like, I did feel a couple of feelings, like, especially at the end. But overall, I was like, I cannot believe I have to watch this piece of shit. It was a struggle. So I give it a 3 out of 10.
So was it rotten for you?
It's rotten, yes. So what you said, it's D tier. We don't have to agree here on these episodes, so that's good. So so you said D. Do you have a number score?
It's definitely more in the 4 out of 10 range. Okay. Not so much.
That sounds more like a.
Well, what did you say? Yours was 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's more.
I was
4.
at 2. To be fair, I was at 2, and then we talked, and I was like, okay, you explained a few things. I'm like, okay, 2 seems a little too low.
I thought you would be squarely at 2. I'm surprised you're at 3.
Okay, well, you talked me up to a 3, so thanks for that.
I'm just trying to expand your film experience, man.
It was an experience.
Genres for you.
It was an experience for sure. Okay, I do have a quiz that I prepared for you,
no.
if you would like. Even though we're at 2.5 hours almost already.
Is this quiz just full of hate to pay?
No, I should be, but I think I'll do okay. So I'm doing a quiz on the personification of death.
Oh no, I'm gonna fail this.
It's gonna be, tell me the movie and or the actor, and nobody wins here. Right. I will tell you that the first thing I thought of was the Ghost of Christmas Future, both in the George C. Scott 1984 version of A Christmas Carol and also in Scrooged. Those are clearly not going to be the answers here because those are not death. Those are ghosts of Christmas Future, which I didn't really think about because I basically went and found an article on, I think it's like a Wikipedia entry or something that showed all the personifications of death in movies. I was like, where are the Scrooged movies? And that's because it's not death. Anyways,
Right.
so the first one is a 1991 movie sequel in which two high school dimwits auditioning for
Bill
the
and Ted.
There you go, Bill and Ted full
Excellent
title
Adventure.
sequel.
I can't remember their exact titles. All I remember is
Bogus
Bogus Adventure,
Bogus Journey.
Bogus Journey.
Half point. So yeah, they do. What am I trying to say here? Yeah, in the afterlife, they challenge death through a series of games, including Battleship, Clue, Electric Football, and Twister, and they escape by giving him a wedgie. And so that's oh, do you know who plays Death in that?
I don't
I give you the full
remember.
point. William Sadler. Okay. And the next one, a 2000. So some of these are movies, some of them these are TV series. 2024 TV miniseries spin-off about a group of witches that embark on a quest to get to the end of Witches Road.
Oh, Agatha All Along?
Agatha All Along.
I did
And
not
do you
know
know
that
who
there was.
plays?
I don't think I finished this movie or this
Yeah,
show.
you
I
didn't
mean,
finish this. I didn't really like it that
it's
much.
one of the witches was Death, right?
Yeah.
It's that actress, the comedian.
That's correct.
From Parks and Rec.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm totally blanking on her name.
Aubrey Plaza.
Oh yeah, yep.
I'll give you a point and a half for that.
That was it. Cool, I got 2 points so far then.
That's right. Doing good. This summer 1993 blockbuster features a scene in a movie theater showing The Seventh Seal when a magic ticket stub causes the figure of death to emerge from the screen into the real world. And I have some clues for you about the movie. There's a cameo from Sylvester Stallone as the Terminator in, I believe, a Terminator 2 poster in a movie store.
And I'm totally blanking on this.
Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as Jack Slater. The banging soundtrack.
I don't remember it at all.
Alice in Chains, Megadeth, Queensryche, Anthrax, Cypress Hill, Buckethead, and more.
I mean, that's a
No?
really awesome soundtrack.
Last Action Hero?
Oh, I didn't watch that.
Oh, that's pretty good. Well, it might not be good. I feel like it was good.
I feel like with 80s shows, 80s movies that you've watched already, it's best to leave them alone.
That's 1993.
Or anything before 2000 that is more heavy reminiscing. Yeah.
I don't know. I remember I watched it a lot as a high schooler. Yeah. So there, Ian McKellen played Death. Oh. No points to you on that. Note that The Seventh Seal will not be one of the questions because it's from 1957, and I don't think either one of us would have been able to get that.
I was thinking Seventh Seal. Wasn't there a Seventh Seal?
The Seventh Sign.
Oh, the Seventh. Okay.
Yeah, that's the Demi Moore one, right? I think. The 2022 single season series, 11 episodes if that helps, based on a comic book of the same name, in which the personification of dreams restores order to his realm.
Oh, Sandman.
That's correct. The Sandman.
The Sandman. Season 3 is coming out soon.
Oh, I thought. Okay, so I had it in my notes that there was only one season.
Or is it season 2?
I don't know.
Maybe it's season 2.
Maybe it's season 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. And don't suppose you know who plays the Sandman?
No, I forgot. I forgot his name.
It's a woman.
Wasn't? Oh,
sorry, not the Sandman. Sorry, who plays Death?
Oh yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember that part. I was like, Sandman was a woman?
No, I just read the wrong. I said the wrong thing. It's played by Kirby. She just goes by Kirby now, I guess, but it's Kirby Howell Baptiste, which kind of makes me want to watch it. I like her. I've seen her in other stuff. This 1983 British musical sketch comedy is the third full-length film from this group, which features a segment, fittingly at the end, called Death, in which, amongst other things, the Grim Reaper convinces the people at a dinner party that they're all dead.
I don't know this out at all.
I will give you a hint quote from another skit in the movie. It's wafer thin.
Yeah, it's not triggering it.
The Meaning of Life?
Oh, no.
Monty Python's The Meaning of Life? Oh. Death is played by John Cleese. All right, big fat 0 there.
Yeah.
And last one. This WB TV series started in 2005 and ran for 15 seasons about two brothers who hunt creatures like demons, ghosts, and monsters, continuing the family business of saving people and hunting
Supernatural.
things. That is correct. I was like, I'm pretty sure you've seen this.
I love that show.
Yeah.
Except I don't remember who Death is.
Yeah, I've never heard of this guy. His Julian Richings played Death.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. I've seen if you see his picture, you've seen him around.
Okay.
But he definitely makes for a memorable death.
All right. Well, that's 4 points for 8 questions. Not bad.
I thought I was gonna get 0. So
exactly. So you aim low and
exactly.
It'll be all right. Exceed expectations. So that's it for what did we just watch? That's it for Joe Black. The next,
you should just start looking around.
Yeah. For the next, I have one more guessing game for you, which is the next season series 2 pick. That'll be my pick.
Yes.
My next pick, I have never seen before.
Oh, wait.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure you have.
Okay.
But my information may be flawed because I've never seen it before. Everybody seems to think I'm going to like this movie, and nobody can believe that I haven't seen it. It's an action-adventure movie from 1999.
Oh, well.
Same distributor as one MCU movie. That's a very niche hint. It shares one actor or actress, I won't tell you which one, with one MCU movie. That's it for the tie-ins, as far as I know.
Huh. Okay.
So what do you want to hint about? Do you want to hint about the actor or actress? Or do you want to hint about the movie?
The actor or actress.
All right. It's a Phase 4 MCU. You might think that they were missing from a Phase 5 movie.
What's Phase 4 again? The multiverse? What's Phase 4? Is it the multiverse one?
Yeah, it starts the multiverse. Phase 4 is real quick. MCU movies. Phase 4. It starts with Black Widow, ends with Black Panther. The Phase 4 movie that she's in is almost entirely a flashback between Civil War and Infinity War.
So it's a Scarlett Johansson movie?
Yes.
And it's a movie that nobody...
Sorry. The movie that the actress is from. It's not Scarlett Johansson. The MCU movie is a Scarlett Johansson movie. It's somebody else from that who's only been in one MCU movie.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
Okay, so it's somebody from Black Widow.
Right. I got that much. Oh, is it Oblivion?
It's not Oblivion.
Oh, darn.
Who was that?
Olga Kurylenko?
Oh, right. That would have been a good one, yeah.
Yeah. I love that movie.
I have seen Oblivion, though.
Okay.
The MCU actor or actress is second build in the movie that I'm picking. It was remade as a 2017 movie under the same name. Starring somebody who starred in Oblivion. There's a hint for you.
I'm still blanking. There's only one other woman in Oblivion that I know, except I don't remember her name.
So I'm saying I'm giving you really confusing clues.
Okay.
So the movie that I'm picking was remade, right? In 2017. That stars the same actor, I will say, as stars in Oblivion.
Oh, the same actor.
Right.
Tom Cruise?
Right. And so what was a remake that he did in 2017?
Oh. You've never seen War of the Worlds?
Nope, not that. That was like way earlier than 2017. A remake that nobody likes because it's terrible.
That he's been in Mission Impossible.
He was in no. Let's see. The main antagonist is a reanimated Egyptian who they take some liberties.
The Mummy.
Yes.
The Mummy.
So I'm picking the original.
Oh man, you're gonna make
Mummy,
me.
The 1999. No, the supposedly the good The Mummy.
Okay.
1999, starring Brendan Fraser, and the actress is Rachel Weisz.
Rachel Weisz. Yeah. Okay, no, that one's not so bad. I liked that one.
I have seen the remake and it's terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're making me rewatch them.
I should. But no, I have not. I've never seen it, and everybody tells me I'm going to love it. And
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I've never felt the desire to watch it. I've been putting off watching it till we talked about it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to have already seen it and had some insight already.
This is gonna be one of those movies where I'm hoping nostalgia hasn't polished that movie memory for me more than it has. But I do remember liking it a lot. So I am actually surprised also with everybody else that you haven't seen it. Oh, is that streaming anywhere? Where is that streaming? Max?
I don't know. I ended up just buying it.
Oh, okay.
Because I want the director commentary and everything. It was like $5 to buy it or something too. It was not expensive. Maybe 10. I don't think so though.
Got it.
Okay.
Interesting. Cool.
So that's it for Joe Black. Next up for series 2 will be The Mummy from 1989. Next for series 1 we will have Captain America: Brave New World. I have revisited it already. I don't want to give anything away, but
okay, I was going to ask you.
It's been something I've been looking forward to revisiting. If you want to contact us, you can email us at absolutelythebestpodcast@gmail.com. You can join our Discord. There's a link in the show notes, and we also have some links there to our socials and a couple ways you could help support the show. Please leave us a review and help us spread the word. Tell your friends, tell a colleague, and tell a doofy personification of death. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.
Bye.
Absolutely the Best Podcast is a production of Audio Johnny, a subsidy of Corporation Johnny.
Corporation Johnny. If it exists, we own it.
I was like, day. That's weird.
That's funny.
And so we don't have any after show shit to discuss this time.
Nope.
I did have a couple of things jotted down, but I think they would be better to discuss after Brave New World.
Oh.
Because it's a little bit more MCU related. So I'll move those over to my Brave New World notes.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man.
All right. Well, I guess I will be seeing you in person soon enough.
Yes. Sooner than you think. Well,
am I supposed to be there earlier than Friday?
No. Actually, on Friday, I need to record an episode with Games of Mom Found. We're covering Kung Fu Hustle.
Oh, that'll be a great one.
I might disappear for a couple hours on you.
Yeah. Maybe I can.
Apologies
maybe I
in
can crash it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, man.
I'll talk to you soon.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
I'll be keeping my eye on you. What's your name?
My name? P. Tier. Griffin. Yeah, Peter Griffin. Oh, crap.